Excuse me? Excuse me? Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry.
chat. Hello. Whoa. Wait. Hello, there we go. I finally figured out Where to put the audio levels? Hello, everybody. Hello. What is up, my good bitches? It is me, your good bitch, Rosemary Darling, back on my bullshit. And look! Look, I have new hair! And I made this hair myself. Look at it. Look at these hair physics. Look at this bouncy braid. Look at it. It's so cute. Look at these hair physics. Whoa. And now every time I go apeshit, just the braid will just go. Isn't that so fun? Also, yes, I came up with a new bunny suit outfit because the old one was like really outdated. So I got a new one for you guys. This one's got sequins and lace on the side, and it's pink now. Like, it's super hyper pink. Ta-da! But yeah, I wanted to turn down the music without turning down desktop audio because we will be having many guests. Where's the leggy? Oh, hold up. Let me show leggy. Hold up. Gotta show leggy. Behold! My legs. And some shoes, too, for the feet people. Listen, I may not be into feet, but for those of you who are, I like to throw you a bone. Why are they thick? Because I'm a thick bitch. I'm one thick bitch. Pre-roll ads can fucking burn. Yeah, I really need to figure out how to make them play before stream, so that way, once stream starts, y'all don't immediately get fucking blindsided. Do you have the thigh punch? I do. Literally, so what it is in Vroid, my thighs are set to 2.5. Now, if you'll notice, normally, with just the slider, you can only set them to 1.0. But if you type in a custom number in the little numbers thing above the slider, boom! Thick thighs. Big butt. Big ol' thick thighs. Now, these are just 2.5s. You can go bigger. It's just that I currently don't have them bigger because any bigger than this and things start, breaking down at a molecular level. Cheating on the thick. It's not cheating. It's not cheating. It's in the system. It's a part of Vroid. It's not like I'm legally modifying it or anything. Because I'm not. I'm a good noodle. I'm a good bunny girl. But yes. It can't handle the thickness, but it can. If you will notice, my thighs love each other so much that they're touching. It does make some tights textures a little weird, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I had to describe my body today as a barrel on legs. Speaking of our guests, haha, gay. That's me. It's a developer-approved Easter egg. Exactly. Speaking of our guests, let me go hop into the chat and say hello to the people who are there. 2 more will be joining us later. But for now, let us say hi to the people that are there. Oh, we got 3. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Let me hop on over the discussion table. Ta-da! Kali, if you're saying anything, wait, am I the one that's muted? Because I can't hear anyone.
No. I'm not muted.
Oh, okay, there we go.
It's just me.
Oh,
You know how my microphone is?
Oh, right. The tables are open. Hold up. Let me get you in a chair and move you way the fuck up so that way you're actually sitting in a chair. There you go. Let's put you in this one. There we go. That looks a little more natural. Ta-da! Oh, Dawn, do you have a Fugi for me to...
Oh, yeah, where should I send that?
Collab no voice. Hold up. Meanwhile,
Okey-dokey.
I'm going to add Kali's right now.
Yes, it is a collie.
Whoops.
Mind
Still
you, it's
not
only,
drinking that water? You will drink the water, and you will fucking like it. Oh, big boy.
It's only like a shoulders up thing.
Wait, no, I did that wrong. Let me save this. I see what I've done wrong now. I'm still getting used to this noise.
We're gonna put you over here for now.
Yeah, well, I'll fix that. We have there.
Holy
It is-
crap, that's huge.
Yes. But it is the wrong one by accident.
Rose, your friend's name is Don, and my nickname is Don. Double Dons.
I am Don Musa.
He rests on the table until he is no longer a severed head. You know, we just gotta cure the severed head disease thing he's got going on right now. But you know, we've had worse here on the Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here comes
Proper thing now.
the boy. Hold up, let
We
me.
are farmers. Dun, 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 dun.
Bum, 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 bum.
Now I am an action figure.
And now is an actual boy. It also makes me chat in all caps for some reason. I've done worse. Been a while, huh? It really has. Is that the Cuban Don? And indeed it is.
very
Let
well
me
could
just
be.
get his Fugi in.
I'm only like shoulders up though.
Oh, you're fine. We'll just have you kind of like, whoops. What up to that? That's a color source. That's not a browser source.
Well, in lore, Don is like 7'1", so he can just stand behind a chair.
Exactly. That's what we're gonna have you doing. In fact, you know what? Let's have you being super ominous behind me.
The Dawn.
Yes.
There we go.
Whoa. New
There we
browser
go. I mean, it's been a while since I've been here. It really has. Welcome back. Expand.
I'm Lorge.
Lorge boy. And
Big.
Vitreous will be joining us at a later date. Right now he's got, I mean, not later date, later time. Right now he's got IRL things he needs to take care of. But for now, it is you three and me. And Alpha Screen threatening to illegally punch Coffee Bean. Is there a legal way to punch Coffee Bean? I suppose boxing.
Self-defense.
Self-defense, yeah, but that implies Coffee Bean would shoot first.
I mean, it's not illegal if it's not reported.
If there are no cops around, you can make up your own traffic laws.
You know, it's like Russian stealth. There's, no one can report the bodies if there's no one left to report the bodies.
Exactly. I love
Like a
Russian
stealth
stuff. Oh, pardon me.
I like to call that one Russian stealth.
Wait, shit, hold up. I forgot to take my decongestants. Which I now have to do before stream. Wait, hold up. I've been...
Mimo wants to give me a banana.
Do you want a banana? Peel it up and go.
Well, Musa is the scientific name for banana, which is how that kind of came into being.
Ah, there we go. Took my decongestants, which will hopefully reduce the amount that I sniffle at you guys during streams. Anyway, will the three of you take turns introducing yourself to each other and to chat? So, you know, everybody is on the same page.
So who goes first? Me?
All right. Well, I'm Carly, as nobody knows except Mary and a few people in the chat itself. I don't know how to introduce myself other than that's just who I am.
He is
Obviously-
a future VTuber, so pre-debut would be the term.
Pre-debut, yes. And also, obviously, I run a few games for Mary and Coffee Bean and some other friends.
Yeah, we love Collie's games. We love him so fucking much. He is on my list of favorite DMs. A good boy. Let's go next with Don, since you're next in line.
Okie dokie. My name is Don Musa. I am the head of the Musa family. I guess you describe it as a mafia in Cuba.
The
And
Cuban Mafia.
yeah, I guess.
I think I have no idea.
And I'm just happy to be here.
All right. Zakaric, you are last.
Hi, I'm Zakaric. Surprisingly, this is the second time in 2 weeks I've been here, so personal best. I'm one of the mods on this channel, so if you haven't heard of me, it's probably because I'm almost never here.
What can
Also,
you
I
say?
just want to say, Kali, are you by any chance a wizard?
Sometimes. I wouldn't say wizard, but it's close enough.
I
Sometimes
loved your
wizard.
work in the Emerald City, by the way.
I get it.
This feels like a reference that I did not get because I am clueless on a lot of pop culture.
Wizard of
Wizard
Oz.
of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Because I'm an Australian. Is that it?
Do you want me to shoot him? I'll shoot him for you. I'll commit violence.
I actually already have an engagement with Apple Taters on the books, so
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, let's just add another one to the schedule real fast and done.
I'm
Next-
back on the 5th, I believe.
I believe so. I'm bad with dates, though, so don't quote me on that. And for those of you who may be here for the first time, or for the first time in a while, hello, I am Rosemary Darling, a unicorn author, MILF VTuber, and the remaining founder of Druids and Darlings. I'm always a slut for talking about tabletop games in all their forms, and that is why I have gathered these nerds today, god damn it. Today! Oh my god. I just started and already the Freudian slips are coming. Anyway, that is what we are here for. Today's
They're not
topic.
slips if they're intentional.
Crimson Office Lady, thank you so much for the 2 gift subs. Kisses from me. Thank you very much. Today's topic is crazy character creation. Now, I don't mean like character creation that you like do while you're skydiving. That's something completely different, and I don't condone that. Oh, I gotta stretch real fast. No, I mean like the characters you create are crazy. Like the sentient piece of bread that carries itself around with mage hand. Or 3 gnomes in a trench coat. Or an orc rogue that doesn't have any points in stealth, but instead puts all his points into intimidation.
Ah, yes. The extreme character creation, as Crimson Office Lady said.
Extreme! Also, high gremlin mode. Oh god, here we go. You ever think someone has ever made a sentient penis in D&D?
Oh, I guarantee you, it has been done.
Yeah, no, I kind of figured that'd be like lowballing it, but that's the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, sentient genitalia.
Funnily, Mary,
I'm-
Rosemary, you have one of the craziest character creations I've heard in a while, which is for our upcoming Scion game.
Oh, yeah!
I am so excited for this Scion game. I love the whole concept.
Okay, so for those who we've talked about Scion here a lot, so I'm just gonna hop right to the character that I will be doing for Kali's game. I made a character who started life and has spent most of her life as a Swedish princess. And she, everything had a time and a place and everything was orderly and her whole life was laid out for her and she was okay with it. And then Apollo started hitting on her. And she was like, thanks, but no thanks. So he's like, okay, gonna turn you into a swan for being a bitch. And she's like, fuck it, chaos and violence are the only laws this universe understands. I'm gonna shit on everything. And she started breaking into, like, mages' towers and temples to try and steal, their magic so she could learn how to turn herself back for at least a while. And Hecate, I hope I'm saying that correctly, saw her and was like, "Yo, girl, I admire your gumption. You need a little help?" To which she replied, "Honk!" Because she's still a swan. Do swans honk?
But yes, I think they do. Pretty sure they do.
I vaguely remember one playing a trumpet at some point.
I've been hissed at by a swan.
Yes, they do in fact hiss. They are in
Yeah.
fact snakes.
Hold
And
up, I
considering
found a video.
my experience with swans, that is very accurate.
I mean, have you seen their necks? That's basically a snake neck.
Exactly. Swans are vicious, which is why I thought this character should be vicious because, you know, she Angie and a swan.
Unhinged swan game.
Swans are just
I do not
geese
like
with
the Cobra
better
chicken.
PR.
Okay, they do honk. Okay. Sorry, I had to bring up a video of swan sound effects. Real fast.
Okay, so they do honk.
They do honk.
As for the note of how to pronounce Hecate, it's got a few pronunciations. My preferred option is Hecate, but Hecate is very valid too.
You know, I am trying my best as always. I love mythology. I just can't pronounce shit.
To be fair, language is difficult.
Language
say
is hard,
as someone
especially
who's-
when you're a dumb as shit American like me.
I mean, to be fair, the whole pantheon, all the names are garbage. It's all
Yeah.
Greek to me.
It's literally Greek.
It's literally Greek, you piece of shit.
Hey, you don't bring me on for my clever insights. You bring me on for the garbage puns.
You know he's not
It's
wrong.
alright. For the longest time, I thought that the J in Mjolnir wasn't silent.
Oh
To be fair, a
no!
lot of people still do that.
Oh no!
My uncle actually still does that.
Oh no! That reminds me of how God, what was the word? Fuck. Oh yeah, Twiggy used to say Tarask like Terraskew, and so I've taken up that mantle just to piss people off.
To be fair, Terraskew is kind of funny to say.
Right? It rolls right off the tongue. He was onto something,
And considering
Neil.
what they do, it's very accurate.
right?
It works.
Yes, Mjolnir has a J in it. It's pronounced with a Y, but it's a J.
I'm just imagining how he would say Mjolnir. Oh my god, that sounds
Mjolnir.
blasphemous to say. I'm sorry, Thor. Please don't beat me up.
That Cyan game has I should probably actually explain that Cyan game because, well, actually, Coffee Bean explained it last time, but I'll explain it again because I am the GM and have more insider knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, as some who were at the last Tabletop Talks stream probably heard about how it's set in Australia and such. The game's idea is that it's basically the other pantheons from across the world are kind of bringing their war into Australia. So it's the name of the game is the Titanomachia Australis,
Which is
Also
such a
known as
cool
Aus-
name.
which just means the Southern Titanomachia.
Mm-hmm.
Our current representatives in the party before that have not all been completed yet, but I have the general ideas. There is the aforementioned unhinged swan that is Mary's character,
Onk!
Yvette, or is it pronounced Yvette
Yvette.
with the hard Y? All right, Yvette.
Yeah, Yvette.
There is Koji, our resident fox police, who has been tasked by his mother Inari to fix fox crimes.
Also, he's
There
a
is-
twink.
He is a twink fox. He is very short.
We
Probably
love
the shortest member of the group.
twink fox boys.
There is the muscle of the group, Arya, daughter of Aphrodite Arya, the warlike Aphrodite. In other words, hot, but also kind of a warrior, kind of beats a lot of heads in.
AKA my fucking dream woman.
Oh yeah, Arya is great and sexy and beautiful.
And we love her.
Just that-
And also the War
love it.
Aphrodite. Just referencing that, just delicious. It's my favorite version of Aphrodite. Just ever.
Oh yeah, I love the warlike Aphrodite because, well, for context, she's actually the original version of Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
When Aphrodite first came to Greece, she was actually just a proper war goddess, including her love aspects and beauty aspects.
Mm-hmm. So she was literally a dangerous woman. And then
There is
the
a
rest
few-
of Greece was like, we can't have that. And so she went through a real-life bimboification arc.
Except she never lost her warlike aspects, she just dropped the job.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the femme fatales that get you.
I love femme fatales.
But those damn Athenians.
Those damn Athenians. Explains why she's so angry. Mm-hmm.
It
That's
explains
literally
a
why
lot of
she's so angry.
angry. Like, she's basically still the same Aphrodite in all aspects, except it's just not her job.
Hence, the Angie. Like Yvette, and her angry swan honking.
The Greeks are angry in our group, apparently.
You're right! Both of the Greek characters are like, sorry, you're this way. Both the Greek characters are very angry and punchy for one reason or another.
Well, in Arya's defense, she was raised by Deimos and Phobos, the gods of fear and dread.
Yeah, that would
So, you
do
know,
it.
that would do it. Also
Meanwhile-
known as Dazza and Faza.
Meanwhile, Yvette just had a, mental breakdown when her worldview was shattered by Apollo's attempts at putting his penis in her.
And so she's going to ruin his temples.
She shits on them! Because she's like, fuck it, violence is the only law these people understand!
Sure, it wasn't Zeus in disguise.
Oh no,
No, it
Apollo
wasn't.
does plenty of douchebag hitting on girls things. Trust me. He do.
Do we need to bring up Cassandra? I think we should bring up
We
Cassandra.
should bring up Cassandra.
So Cassandra is a Trojan princess, the sister of Paris and Hector? Yeah, Hector. She basically dated Apollo for a little bit, but broke up with him because she didn't want to be with Apollo. Apollo, quote-unquote, gifted her with the gift of foresight and prophecy. But it came with the downside that nobody believes her fortunes of the future. Even when they're things that probably you should listen to. Like Agamemnon about to be killed by his wife.
Yeah.
Even though Agamemnon deserved it.
Guess he is appalling. Ah! I love that pun.
There were, I know there's two other characters, but they didn't have names set down. One is for the Aztec gods, the Teotl, or Teal, because the TL is actually a stop instead of actually a pronounced a thing. I'm sorry, I'm a linguistic nerd here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. We have plenty of linguistic nerds in chat. Your fellows are in there.
Yes,
You are among friends.
You are among friends.
yes. But yeah, the TL, they're the Aztec gods, and we have a sign from that.
We found one.
Hey,
I think it was a gangster who partakes in flower wars. I think they were.
Actually, that's actually mine, and she's actually a pacifist. She
Oh.
basically arranges flower wars.
Oh,
amongst
right,
gangs
Right. You said
as
they
a,
were.
as a way to be peaceful, as a way to keep them peaceful.
They're the
Oh.
intermediary type. I think. Yeah, I remember now. It's been a while.
Doesn't he light up? Yeah, for some reason, Kali's Fugi isn't lighting up. But that's an optional thing that you have to, like, click on there, so...
Yeah, I've been trying to fix that. It doesn't seem to want to do it.
You know, which is very peculiar. Well, we'll fix that later. We'll try.
Yes, Um, but yes, that was. Do you want to explain your character? Because I'm a bit forgetful sometimes. I just remember.
To be fair, it was like 3-4 months ago, I think, when we
Yes,
discussed her.
Yes.
So her name is Citlali Reyes, and she's Aztec. She's from the Aztec pantheon, so blood sacrifice and all that. Complete pacifist, has no combat skills whatsoever, refuses to pick up a weapon even in self-defense. So how she defends herself is she is also she's also she also has the love thing, and she's basically like, hey, you're trying to fight this guy, hey, you're trying to fight this other guy, well, this is your get along shirt now.
This is your get along shirt.
Congrats, you're brothers now, have fun.
To be fair, everyone is a bit demigod in this game, but Arya is about the most normal.
I mean, yeah, she seems to have her head pretty screwed on straight.
One fun thing about the Aztec gods in Scion is that they've adapted to the modern era, so they don't actually entirely focus on the blood sacrifice aspect. They still do it because it's still their culture and all, but now they're focused a bit more on the sacrifice part itself, how much it's a personal sacrifice, and it's a really interesting addition to their cultural thing.
Yeah, like instead of cutting your hand open and dripping it over the flame, you could just like throw a stack of $10 bills into the fire.
Although that one would be a bit weaker, it's
well, yeah.
How much it hurts you is how good of a sacrifice it is.
Also, I hate to interrupt, but I went online to see if I could find other people's examples of really crazy characters. And I found one that has tickled my fancy so much that I need to bring it up right now.
All right, so I'm listening.
This is a this is a player character. This was made for this person's game. This person did not make this character. One of their players did. It was a anime, fantasy, steampunk game, in their words, not mine. And they listed some other people, pretty funny. And then the last one is Skullfuck Bear, the lesser-known Care Bear.
The Skullfuck Bear?
Just, Skullfuck Bear! Skullfuck Bear, no!
It must have been one of those editions in like season 5 or something.
The lesser known Care Bear.
Impressive. I'm guessing it has a proclivity towards certain activities.
Probably. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that the name was for a reason.
All right.
Which reminds me of Sir Barrington. One of my favorite stories about a weird character. I love Sir Barrington so much.
Tell us about Sir Barrington.
Sir Barrington, hold up, somebody actually linked to the Sir Barrington copy pasta, so I will be reading that for all of you. Damn it, the page broke, so let me go find him. Barrington. Make a bear. This is green text, by the way. Make a bear character in D&D 3.5. The DM laughs. Make the bear a rogue. Put every point I can into disguise. Prestige class as a spy to get more disguise. DM says I can't speak English. Max out bluff. By growling and gesturing, I can fake speaking a language I don't speak, English. Use money to hire a butler NPC. Give him a magical item that lets him speak bear. An excellent suggestion, Sir Barrington. We should really ask the group to investigate the Black Marsh. Over the course of the game, be knighted as Sir Barrington. Queen holds a dinner in my honor. A random guest becomes the first man to ever make a perception check that can beat my disguise. Shouts out loud, "Hey, that guy's not a guy, he's just a bear!" Van is escorted out of the castle while the guards apologize profusely for the indignity. We're so sorry, Sir Barrington. Very sorry for this man's behavior indeed. Mrrr.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely fantastic.
So I have figured out part of the problem with my thing not lighting up sometimes, and that is just technical difficulties with how my microphone works.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So this is probably working semi-ishish now.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
lighting up more. He wears a disguise to look like human guys, but he's not a man, he's a chicken, boo.
It's Man Bear Pig.
Man, bear, pig. I'm pretty sure somebody's made Man, bear, pig in D&D like 6 times over now.
Oh, Rose, do you remember Puppy Monkey Baby?
Puppy, monkey... You're acting like I should know this, but I've literally never
It was
heard...
on the NFL Super Bowl halftime. Search it up, Puppy Monkey Baby.
Okay,
and it was
hold up.
for Mountain Dew
Duh.
energy drinks.
Don Musa has resurrected the ancient curse.
Puppy
Monkey
baby commercial. Oh, God,
I am a
okay.
keeper of forbidden knowledge.
Okay, hold up. We're gonna switch to active just long enough to, You've never seen that? No, because I don't watch
Man,
halftime
I might
commercials
just chill tonight.
anymore. What the fuck?
Brace
monkey
yourself,
baby.
The
children.
halftime commercials are the
Puppy
best
Monkey Baby.
part.
Puppy monkey baby. 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 Puppy monkey baby.
Mountain Dew Kickstart. Dew, juice, caffeine.
I am never drinking Mountain Dew again, swear to God.
It's Puppy Monkey Baby.
I hate it!
And I love how they chose a pug's face as well.
I know! That's the worst part! With the fucking baby legs! Ugh. I know what my next follower is gonna be in Scion. Don't you fucking dare, Coffee Bean!
Yes, coffee, yes.
I will kill it. I will eat it.
Dracon will eat it first.
One of us is gonna fucking vor that thing. Thank you for the hydrate. And we're gonna fucking devour it.
So for a bit of extra context, Arya has a pet Drakon. A Drakon is a Greek dragon specifically. Usually they don't fly really, see the Hydra, but they have poisonous spit rather than fire. They're also more snake-like, usually, sometimes.
In my personal opinion, much harder to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So much harder to deal with.
Ah, damn it. Huh. Apparently someone managed to play as a necromancer ferret. How the fuck did you get to play a ferret in D&D? Also, Next Chimera monster NPC enemy is just a bigger puppy monkey baby. No! I will shit blood!
Actually, funny mention of the Chimera monster thing, because I have had horrible ideas for Scion, specifically. So there is an archetype for NPC animals called, Nemians. So do you know what the
yes.
Nemean lion is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, I've once built a Nemean raccoon. It was
Oh, God.
hilarious.
Oh, no,
It was
that's terrible.
it was 20 feet tall, completely immune to bullets.
So the Nemian archetype basically makes an animal resistant or immune to human-made weapons, or at least not magical weapons, or at least normal weapons. And it makes their claws or talons or anything like that really fucking painful. Like cut through metal like butter, painful.
Damn.
And I decided to have the idea of a Nemian cassowary.
Oh
Oh
no!
no!
Oh
Isn't
no!
that just a normal cassowary?
Imagine a normal
Yeah, big
cassowary.
birds like that are surprisingly bullet resistant.
Right?
Yes, I was about to say, normal cassowaries are already pretty damn durable to take down because they have all their fluff and they have very few organs, so bullets kind of just miss any vital spots most of the time. That you actually have to get them in the head to take them down.
Oh, like
But a
zombies.
Nemian,
Oh, that's disturbing. Oh, that's disturbing.
but Nemian cassowaries are like that, but worse.
Of course they are. Of course they're worse.
Okay, Rose, I just sent something in the Collab No voice that I think you'll love.
Trash griffins! Oh my god, I do love that. Okay, hold up. Let me show that to the class.
Ah, yes, the trash griffins.
Oh yeah, we need the ibis possum in your Titanomachia game.
And after looking at that, I came up with two more.
Yeah.
A raven coyote and a shoebill stork hippo.
So,
That second one is terrifying. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
which one? The pigeon cat?
No, the shoebill hippo.
Wait, has chat ever seen a shoebill stork before? They
Uh,
look like malicious intent with wings.
I've seen shoebills and they sound like bullets. Like their bird call literally sounds like bullets.
They're actually incredibly friendly though.
But they also have these big swallow you whole beaks, so like imagine that but like hippo sized. And quite frankly, I'm not sure I would ever want to leave the comforts of the American Midwest.
I just did a Google image search, and literally the second picture, it's staring straight into the camera with murderous intent.
Well, you gotta think, what temperament would it inherit? Would it get the shoebill temperament or the hippo temperament? Because if it gets the hippo temperament, nothing in the world is gonna stop that thing.
Look at this. Look at this shoebill. Look at him. He wants to kill people.
And its cry sounds like bullets.
Oh, and Rose, there's a domesticated, or no, sorry, not domesticated, but captive-raised shoebill stork named Sushi. And if you want to pet him, you have to bow, and he'll bow back.
Okay, that's adorable. That's adorable. Oh, imagine if that were a character, like a sentient shoebill. Not a hippo shoebill, just a shoebill bird.
Should be.
Shoebill.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's an impossible.
Ooh, pelican otter? Or no,
Ooh.
pelican beaver.
Ooh, they would be able to swallow logs whole.
A lot of people don't realize how big pelicans are.
I've got the perfect one.
Oh no.
Vulture Wolverine.
Are you trying to kill us all? Because that sounds you're trying to kill us all.
Honey badger marabou stork.
Y'all are just going crazy.
That's just a war crime.
Flamingo and lion.
That's
It's
a bit
like
of
a
an odd
normal
one.
griffin. Yes, but they're both.
It'd just be a really derpy looking griffin.
Yes, that's the idea. Unfortunately, pelicans are fucking terrifying.
I like Dusk's idea, shoebill Aerococra.
I mean, flamingos are terrifying. They can just stand in high alkaline water and they're just fine. Crossed with an alligator is just a caiman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that just a caiman?
Emperor penguin and a goat can go anywhere, can go hundreds of feet into the water, and can climb a sheer cliff.
I
Puffin polar bear.
can do
Wait.
anything.
Here.
Suck my dick!
Hold on.
So what I'm hearing is I need to make a scion of echidna who crossbreeds the worst things. No, sweetie, don't do it. Don't give
I'd
in to the
allow
dark
it.
side.
We have someone trying to join.
Vitreous, I think.
Yes. Teresa is trying to join.
Oh, I was not aware he was on the... Hold up, let me get the ceremonial bread.
The bread. What the? What the cornbread doing?
Cornbread. Hold up,
We're
I got a better
doing-
one. Yeah, make him big. Make him big. Big bread. Big bread.
Oh, so do you want to hear about one of the characters that was in my party for my very first D&D game?
Oh,
That I feel
sure.
was kind of first. So, a Tabaxi bard named Tony, who spoke in like a really obnoxious, like New York Italian Fonz accent, and he wore shutter shades and a leather jacket, and nothing else.
Oh,
Did he have a positive opinion of breakfast cereal by any chance?
I'm not sure, but he seduced everything that moved.
Oh, so it's an exact clone of the character I'm thinking then.
I think by the time we were done our first session, he had seduced 15 different goblins.
I'm sure he's living the dream of some people in my chat. No pants, sleeping with goblins.
That reminds me of my favorite Twitter challenge. It was a thing in the early furry community. It was you speed run getting blocked by Tony the Tiger on
Oh,
Twitter.
yeah.
It's like the speed running to get banned from Club Penguin.
Or
Oh,
speed
yeah.
running to get
Yeah, it's
banned on
fantastic.
Yandere Dev's Discord.
What is the record for Club Penguin? It's like what, like 30 milliseconds or something?
Whatever.
No. I think it's like 14 seconds from like sign up to actually getting banned.
Oh yeah, because it's from create new account. I forgot.
Yeah. Goblin D's nuts.
On the note of wacky character creation, I actually remembered a game that basically encourages you going all fucking out with craziness. This is called Deviant the Renegades. It is a Chronicles of Darkness game where you make characters who are basically human experiments escaped and trying to get revenge.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
you were going to talk about paranoia.
Huh?
I was actually going to run one such game, but that fell apart because personal. Anyway, some of the crazy ideas that were present in the game that I was going to run that you were actually a part of, there was the human who was merged with the parts of mechanical angels, so basically an angel cyborg or some sort.
Oh, that sounds cool.
There was D13 or Die specific. He was a dude who was merged with a ghost, but he was a corpse pool, so they're both back alive, but they're still kind of undead. Shout out to Coffee Bean for that one.
Shout out to Coffee Bean.
There was a dude who was merged with blood from the god of time so he could see across various realities. Which is insane, but fortunately it was held back because if he used more of that power, he might become unstable and explode. Oh yeah,
You
that's a
know
thing
what?
with deviants. That's a thing with deviants. They are all very unstable because of this whole nonsense of being human experiments. Actually, they might not even be human experiments. Sometimes you can play an animal experiment, like a fully sapient talking animal ape or something. As I said, deviant, you can go crazy.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
there's
just-
several Chronicles of Darkness games where it's like you can really go crazy with the character creation. Racket raccoon.
Yes,
I was
you play
thinking
Rocket
that too,
Raccoon.
Dusk. As soon as he said
Very
animal
well.
experiment.
Racket raccoon. So what I'm hearing is my next deviant is Puppy Monkey Baby. No!
Oh my god, yes,
No.
Coffee!
No!
You gotta make it.
No.
No. If you do it.
Oh, okay. I wanna go back to that like angel cyborg dude earlier. Like I'm pretty sure in the Chronicles of Darkness, angels are just robots normally.
Yes.
So I can
in-
explain that
So-
one. I'll explain that one. So there is a creature called the God Machine, which is a giant mechanical being that is basically the what's the phrase? significantly advanced technology is no different from God. That one. Something close to it.
Extinguishable from magic.
Indistinguishable from God is the one specifically for this. There is the indistinguishable from magic, and there's also indistinguishable from God. The God machine has its own agents that it uses to perform its various algorithms that it wants the world to go through. The God machine isn't exactly God, but it is onto God. So its agents are called angels, and basically angels that go against their program and rebel are called demons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all machines.
Oh, that's neat.
It's kind of vague if God exists or not, but they're separate beings, but they're close enough that you call it such things. And that's basically what happened with the assassin cyborg angel character. She almost died in an explosion, and the cult that worshipped her, the cult that had her trained as an assassin, basically put her back together with various angel parts from a dead angel.
Oh my god, that's fucked up. Imagine you wake up and you have your friend Tom's arm grafted to you, where your arm would normally be, and you know it's Tom's arm, and it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
It's just the Iron Man theme as they put her together.
Do you mean liminals?
Liminals! That's an exalted thing.
I'm sorry, we can't play Thunderstruck on this stream. We'll get DMCA'd.
Yeah, no, please don't DMCA me.
But yes, be not afraid, but in binary. The Chronicles of Darkness has a lot of interesting lines that I personally prefer over base old World of Darkness. Because you two are more familiar with Changeling than I am.
Oh, I
Mary
love Changeling so much.
Rosemary
Oh, Changeling.
suck. Yes. I've not played Changeling myself, but I know about it.
Yeah, I've played Changeling 2 or 3 times now? Yeah, 3 times. One of which was with my family. That game was kind of a hot mess. Because my mom and dad know next to nothing about tabletop games, but they were trying. They were really trying. Well, my mom was trying. My dad was like half trying. He made a bear.
I also remember your character Simone?
Simone!
Selkie?
Yes, she was based off of Selkie. Okay, so she might count in the weird characters category. So basically, we love Simone. She grew up in a Mexican household, seeing as, you know, nationality and all that. And they were all very devout Catholics. And which made it really funny because, funny in a dark kind of way, in that the fae that kidnapped her pretended to be the Judeo-Christian god, and still was, like, the whole time. And so she kind of, like, has this weird mental issues relating to all of that. Like, she now can't enter churches. If she hears churches, she takes physical damage from church bells. And she got turned into a Selkie because it was basically like a heavenly beach. Let's go to the beach. And then game and judge. And eventually she got this amulet that lets her control water and waves. So she was like a waterbender, but like on a really big scale. Wiped out an entire army that way. It was nice. And then she had 2 girlfriends at the end of the game. She's a lesbian.
That's impressive.
And nothing bad happened to her ever.
And nothing bad happened to her or either of her 2 girlfriends. They all lived together as a throuple and had a wonderful time.
Nothing bad ever happened.
Nothing bad ever happened.
Oh my god,
Ever.
Rose, do you remember Gabriel?
Yes, we do have room for Gabriel.
Oh my gosh. Gabriel, okay, so Gabriel was my character in that game, and he was, I think he was a Ferrist. Maybe no, he was an Elemental. I think it was, or whatever. But he was basically made entirely out of what's called carnival glass, if anyone's familiar with that. And he could control glass. So he had a magic bag of glass that he would just, you know, pull like a metric ton of glass out of and throw it at people. It was pretty great.
Pocket sand.
Pocket sand! Except it's... oh, no, wait, it is pocket sand because glass is made of sand! Fuck!
It is, yep. And yeah, that was really cathartic killing my my keeper, whatever her name was.
Glass.
Pocket sand!
So-
God, that reminds me of my first time DMing and how my party managed to TK themselves with a bag of holding.
Oh my god, please tell me, please tell me. I need to hear the story.
The rogue's a bit of a kleptomaniac, and he was grabbing like every last blade and dagger and mace and sword, and he stuffed it all in his bag of holding. So they're in a very tight quarters crypt, and they're fighting these skeletons. And he was like, he threw his like 2 daggers at the skeletons, and he wanted to go into his bag of holding to get more.
Oh no.
And I made him roll a dexterity roll to go get more weapons. He rolled a nat 1.
Oh no.
So instead of reaching in to grab a new weapons, he accidentally inverted the bag of holding. And if anyone knows what happens when that happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Fire
Also,
in the hole!
Why was he using daggers against a skeleton?
I don't know. I guess they figured I was a new DM and they could get away with shit.
Yeah.
Jin, Crimson Office Lady, brought up a character in stuff me and her talked about in our private. She has a liminal exalted named Jin Chanzi, which basically means Golden Mikado. A whole reference because she was reborn from dying and such. Basically, she is just a very sunshine lesbian undead
Aw.
who likes to make friends, and also she's a necromancer. More specifically, she is a necro dancer.
Yes!
Necromancy? You mean the best magic in creation?
Necrodancy.
I just call it late term healing.
It's just
Very listen, I didn't get my medical license revoked for nothing.
But
Your friend's dead? I might have something for that.
Jin is actually a very fun
A
character.
vampire. You could be a necromancer and a necromancer.
Hey!
She is a necromancer too, yes.
Hey! Brown family?
Yeah.
No. Crafted family.
Oh yes, I should probably explain Vilcus, also known as the little wolf chained by the heron.
AKA Daddy. Sorry.
Yeah. So, in the original game of Exalted that I played with Coffee Bean and Rosemary, Vilcus was an abyssal exalt, one of the chosen of the void and such. He is a necromancer himself. He experiments by making things come back to life because he wants to get around that whole no death rule, as you do. He sort of succeeded with his first attempt, which was putting a crystallized pyre flame as the core of someone and resurrecting them into an undead. This is called Eve, the first of his found family, or crafted family, because he's raising family accidentally.
Raising a family is hard. Not when they're all buried nearby each other.
Yeah, what's all the hate towards necromancers? Can't a guy just raise a family in peace?
I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night, meme.
Yeah, but yes, Eve was this just clueless, dummy, very stupid, childish undead, because she is literally a new person inside an old body, which is kind of the ethos of Liminals too, but there's more to it with Liminals. The next time he made another undead was the aforementioned Jin. because this woman wanted a necromancer to try bring her daughter back to life because her daughter was killed by bandits. To give her some closure, he at least tried, knowing that it probably wouldn't work. And then it actually worked, sort of. See, liminals are brought back by strong emotion catching the attention of an entity called the Dark Mother, and she puts a new soul into an old body. This creates an exalted that is kind of really difficult to kill again. Like, you need to destroy their brain or drown them, kind of difficult to kill. Because otherwise, they just get back up. Give or take a few hours.
And drowning's pretty hard when most of them can hold their breath for like a half hour.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
also that.
Perfect.
So yeah, this new person who didn't have a name because she's not the same as the girl that died, Filkis couldn't leave her to just wander the world on her own because the world is a dangerous place and people are cruel.
Mhm.
So he takes her under his wing as his apprentice / companion to teach her about the world in a more optimistic light, even though he's an abyssal.
Yeah, which abyssals canonically, the chances of them having a good life go down significantly. Consider if they even try to do not asshole things, they literally creation decays around them.
Yes, there is a whole other thing around it. But oh yes, Crimson Office Lady brought up another fact about Jin, because that's her character. Jin has a scythe that is so powerful, but also too delicate, that it can only be used by the gentle touch of a lesbian.
That is amazing.
That reminds me of like vaguely reminds me of a scene from like Tower Heist or something. Something about lesbians and soft hands.
Also, the scythe is also a lesbian.
I like how the past, like, 3 characters we've mentioned have all been lesbian. Well, not 3 in a row, but, like, there was Simone, then there's Jin. Wait, who's the third? There was a third. I could have sworn there was a third lesbian.
There's always a third.
There's
lesbians come in 3s. Everybody knows this.
I
there
mean,
was
Gabriel was also dating a girl, but you know.
there's
Well,
And nothing bad happened to him.
and nothing
Nothing
bad
at
happened to
all.
him or his girlfriend, and they got married, and they had a wonderful wedding. And
well,
then
technically with
Simone and in her throuple all came to the wedding, and it was great.
Yep, and
Yes.
Gabriel and his fiance absolutely did not die in the final battle, and then something mysterious happened in the sequel game.
What sequel game? There was no sequel game. Well, there's only one good part of the sequel game, and that was my character, Eva. Eva was a moth changeling. Who accidentally got a pen that rewrote reality, but she didn't know that, so,
Oh no.
yeah, she accidentally set fire to the entire town.
Oh yeah, that was the Bruh She's an Orphan game.
Yeah, the Bois She's an Orphan game.
Oh, Rose, I just thought of something that would make that pen even worse.
Oh no, do tell.
Give it to a fan fiction writer.
Oh my god. Yes. I'm so glad that Eva wasn't a fanfiction writer. I'm glad she was just emo as fuck.
She just starts
So,
shipping people and they spontaneously like each other.
Oh no, she did write something about a guy she had a crush on confessing to
Yeah.
her. No, it's
Yeah, she did.
Oh my gosh, she did. A moth creating a really big light source, that checks out. That's not even racist, that's just true.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there was that whole like fire sends her into fits of delusion or something.
Yeah, cause she had a traumatic incident in her childhood involving a really big fire at her school. So, you know, She failed to save and then just started running off in the streets babbling. Hence the I'm gonna go play in the street with my trauma line. Because that was me, IRL. Just
Drama in your backstory?
it's more likely than you think.
I mean, it's a changeling game. That's kind of the requirement.
It's literally a requirement.
So, two things. Yeah, you mentioned that lesbians come in threes. Well, the
Yeah.
thing is that Simone and Jin both have two girlfriends, which means there's 3 lesbians per set.
Oh my god, you're right. You're right! Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Woo woo!
Well, I mean, you can't start your lesbian coven with only 2 people. You have to have the power of 3.
Exactly. You need 3 to start a lesbian witch coven.
There was also your Zenith, who was also gay, I'm pretty sure, but
Oh yeah, Felicia!
yeah, Felicia.
Felicia was a fairly normal character, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about her. But yeah, she was dating the lunar character of another friend of ours, who we're just going to call him T. Good campaign. Very short, but good campaign.
Speaking of traumatic pasts, I told you about Git, the Goliath that managed to befriend the Green Dragon.
Yeah! Wait. No, actually, please tell me more.
Yeah, it was a Discord D&D server, but it was really weird. It was like open world D&D.
Open world D&D? What the fuck is that?
Like, there was like the main like adventurer sort of like, I don't know, it was almost like an academy. And there was like the city, and you could just go around and do stuff, and there was like 16 different DMs on the server, and they'd like host like mini like sessions for it. And depending on your interactions with people in the open world, that could actually affect some of the sessions. And Git had he called her Miss Leah, and I believe his first session that involved combat, I originally wanted him to be a pacifist, but I realized that just wasn't going to work with how the server was set up. They cleared her lair of undead, and they found out that she was a green dragon. And Git was like the only thing stopping the party from going full murder hobo.
You know what? That sounds about right.
And now Git regularly returns to Miss Leah for tea.
Oh, that's adorable! I love everything about
But
that.
he has like the most traumatic backstory you could think of. Well, not really I guess it depends on your point of view. But he hasn't realized that it's traumatic at all. See, he's a Goliath that was basically born into slavery, and until he joined that academy, he had never seen sunlight before. He grew up in a coal mine.
Holy shit.
Yep. He was a slave miner from birth until the mine dried up and everyone just kind of pieced out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh my gosh, you just reminded me of the character with the most traumatic backstory I have ever made. Yeah, Rose, you'll remember this one. Terry and Tony Dorset.
Oh my god, I remember these little bitches!
They were sweet boys. They never did anything wrong to anybody. So, they were...
Coffee Bean having a visceral reaction in chat.
Yep. So, if I remember correctly, they were halflings. And, so this was a custom world setting that Rosemary made called Dew. And basically we were in like this like plague town that was also like a prison town or something, prison colony.
It was a penal colony, yeah.
Yeah, penal
and
colony.
And they regularly got plagues, and this one was just worse than normal. So they're like, okay, we're sending you fuckers in to go check it out because you're disposable.
Yeah, so Terry and Tony volunteered to go do this out of like, I don't know. They're good guys. They're good boys, and they never did anything wrong. And they showed up, and they both had rapiers, and I forget what the first combat was, but like, Terry never talked much, and he was really shy, and Tony was like the really outgoing one. And first combat, Tony runs up with his rapier and attacks, I think it was like a vampire or something. And Terry starts using Eldritch Blast. And as it turns out, it's a single character sheet because Terry is actually a homebrew class that I found called the Arcane Puppeteer. And Tony was a puppet that he made modeled after his dead brother who died because he escaped from prison because Terry turned him in after stealing a bunch of stuff. So yeah, and it was really, really traumatic, and nobody... Oh, people thought, I think Coffee Bean... Yeah, Coffee Bean thought... Coffee Bean thought the one who didn't talk was the puppet because he never
Spoiler
talked.
alert, nope, the one doing the talking was the puppet!
He was, and they were both good boys, and nothing bad happened.
It was so funny because I, as the DM, I knew because Zakaric was a good noodle, and he told me the deal beforehand.
Yeah, I wrote up 2 full backstories. The official one I posted in the public channel, and the real one I sent to Rosemary, and it was fantastic. Like, the first one was, the public one was like, it was like a noble bright character, basically. And they were,
In
like,
a very,
super happy and super
dark-ish
friendly.
game.
Yeah, in a very, very grimdark game.
Yeah, there's a reason I can't
And-
do Plague Town on Twitch. There's some things in there they wouldn't like.
Probably the plague comes to mind.
Actually,
Yeah.
YouTube would object to that more than anything. You can talk about Plague on Twitch all you like, but if you try to talk about, you know, the Panini on YouTube, they're like, nope, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna see if I can find their backstories and post them.
But yeah, it's so funny, because
great. I
Coffee
definitely
Bean
recommend a
would
read.
come to me after the game, and he's like, I figured it out. And it's like, that's the puppet, and that's the real one. And I would just sit there being like, you're right, sweetie, And like, I wouldn't say you're right, sweetie, actually. I would just not say anything. I would just sit there and nod, and smile and nod, and just kind of,
Smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
just kind of let him be wrong. Because it's like, I
Such a
wanted,
fun character to play.
I thought it would be even funnier for them to find out if the DM didn't blab. Which it was. I was absolutely right.
But unfortunately, we never got the big reveal in game.
Yeah, no, Zakaric just had to, like, tell them out of game because the game died a slow death because of the real Panini.
Yeah, I got 3 separate people go like, "Oh shit!"
That call was fucking lit.
I'm still waiting for the opportunity to reveal to Coffee what I have planned for his L5R character.
Oh my fucking god.
Like, the fact
Are
that
you-
I've been able to keep it on lock as well as I have been, it's eating away at me.
Oh god, I fucking bet, dude!
The DM pain of just having to keep secrets from the players that you want to share.
Yes! Oh my god, that's literally the worst!
Oh my
To
god! And
reveal
I had like a
inside.
huge red herring for Terry and Tony too, because like they figure out that he's a puppeteer, that Terry's a puppeteer, but they figure it out because he pulls a different puppet out of his bag that starts healing people. And he's just like, "Oh no, I'm good. I just use it for healing."
Spoiler alert! No.
Forget what some of the plans I was going to reveal. Yes. Rosemary, do you remember Alicia?
Oh,
The
Alicia,
vampire?
do I Oh, I've talked about her several times on previous episodes. I loved
Have you
her
talked
and her
about-
stories so much.
Did you ever tell them about the reveal I had planned for her, or did you forget about that?
I told them bits and pieces, but I did not tell them about the big reveal. I don't think. I could be wrong.
The big reveal about Alicia is that, so a bit of recapping is that she is a vampire who performs mirror magic because of act of something with a demon called Red Jack, who is just one of these many names.
He has so many names.
He has so many. Eventually, I was going to reveal that he was, in fact, Tezcatlipoca, sealed away in a smoky mirror in South America.
Which he was trying so badly to get her to break it. And she was like, wait a minute, isn't that bad? We need that to do with Dracula, because Dracula got out. And they needed a bunch of shit to put him back in. And that was one of the things. And he was like, hey, you should break that. And she's like,
The other thing is that when Alicia actually made the pact, she kind of was high as shit and went into a manic episode when a copy of her came out of a mirror and she ran outside, but it was daytime at the time. The reveal is that Alicia, the character, is actually a copy of the original Alicia who is dead.
oh yeah, no, OG Alicia, fucking dead. Put the vamp back where it came from, or so help me, bum, so help me, and cut.
Yeah, so the plot was basically that player Alicia was a copy created by Tezcatlipoca of Red Jack who freed himself.
Yeah, she thought
from
she was
prison.
the OG. She thought she was the OG. So when she, and she had a backstory, she thought, her memories of her childhood were a mirror of the originals. So she remembered her parents as being distant at best and a bit emotionally abusive at worst, but real Alicia's parents absolutely adored her and loved her and doted on her. And this confused character Alicia to no end because she's like, that's literally wrong. But that feels right, but it's wrong. What the fuck? What do I do?
But I love mirror shenanigans.
Well,
Also, Alicia's name.
Also, she was a
Also,
pot-dealing vampire.
Also, she was a pot-dealing vampire. Also, we
Alicia
can't
was
forget.
literally the bitch you thought character.
Literally.
Let's also not talk about how Alicia's name is actually a fake name, I think it was.
Yeah, no, it's a fake name.
And she was also referencing Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Or Through the Looking Glass, more specifically.
It was a whole carefully crafted persona.
Been bamboozled.
Because real Alicia was very proud of her Korean heritage, whereas character Alicia was like, I'm a distance myself from this. It was a whole thing.
Whole thing.
I'll tell you what, though, on the subject of DM secrets, I still like the one time I figured out Zakaric was running a game of Pathfinder.
Oh, I loved that game
And
so much.
I figured out the twist 2 weeks before the first session.
Yeah, he literally
Holy
figured it
shit!
out when I was giving him the elevator pitch of the game.
That's impressive.
So I'm gonna sidetrack the character discussion a little bit because this is a great game. One of my admittedly not as great executions, but a great concept. So basically, the start of the game, everyone's character woke up in a field, which was like an old battlefield, like 100 years old or something. And they got to a town, and they had no memories of the last 5 years or something. They could remember their childhoods and stuff, but they couldn't remember the last 5 years of their lives. And they got to the city nearby, and there was this I don't know, some heroic statues or whatever arranged together like an adventuring party, but none of them had faces because 100 years ago there was an invasion and a bunch of heroes sacrificed their identities to seal away the darkness.
The Warriors of Light, sort of.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
nobody could remember. People remembered they existed, but nobody could remember who they were.
It's like we kind of
Yeah.
vague remember this motherfucker, but not really.
Yeah, and there were people. Basically, the whole plot of the game was that there was this like evil organization that was the dark group that from 100 years ago, and their minions were still running around even though they themselves were dead. And basically, they were going to spend the whole campaign like learning about themselves and fighting the darkness.
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming, just from what I hear now, is that the twist was that the players were those warriors that saved the world 100 years ago.
no,
Oh,
that was the red
no.
herring. The twist is
That's
that
the herring.
the red herring is that
Ah,
they were actually
the other
the
side.
dark organization. Yeah,
The
They
moment
had
you said the red herring, I
Oh!
understood.
they had their
Oh, I
memories
like
wiped by the
that.
gods and converted to good alignments as a form of redemption.
Oh, that's zesty. I'm proud of you for that
But,
swerve.
It was really good. But the thing is that like 2 weeks before we had our first session, I texted him and it's like, this is gonna be some Darth Revan shit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
like I came up with the concept independently, and then like I immediately after started playing the first KOTOR game, and I'm like, you know, I've never played this game before, but I legit just stole its entire plot, didn't I?
Most of it's plot, at least.
The good part of the plot,
The
anyway.
good part of
The good part of the plot.
Yeah, the whole like zombie virus thing, I could live with that.
The rat ghouls are so annoying as a concept.
Oh, but yeah, I
But
just
yeah,
remembered a
that was-
character that I keep trying to play that I can't fucking play because he was made for one system, one specific system, but we have yet to play in that system. He only works there. I have not been able to convert him to another system, and that is for one very specific reason. It's because he's a dog.
So,
Hey, so just this is my monthly reminder that GURPS exists, Rosemary.
I would rather... You know what? It's 2022. It's time to set aside old grudges. I will try GURPS sometime, as long as somebody holds
Yay.
my hand through character creation.
I will hold your hand through character creation.
Very good. But yeah,
so you say it's a dog, yes?
yes, he is a doggy.
Anything else about that? Just the dog.
His name is Perry. He's a Pekingese, and he has this, like, belt with robot arms that do stuff for him, mainly violence, because he fights space Nazis. He's also
Space Nazi.
telekinetic, and he communicates that way.
Oh, well, then. So, I do have another system for this dog.
Provide advice that will get Rose to play GURPS.
Ooh, a coffee bean emerges!
I have the simplest advice that will encourage Rose to play GURPS.
And what is that advice, my dear?
Vitreous, do not flex in her line of sight.
Yes, Vitreous will not be present while
You do
make
the
your
weird math, man.
He does.
Vitreous
Yeah, let
will
me just apply to a modifier that modifies a modifier that modifies a base ability.
Hey, you try to make one man who's genetic tofu, and suddenly you have 10 deep modifiers.
Yep. And we're done.
So, Rosemary, you mentioned it's a psychic dog with a robot arm.
Yes.
Built a robot arm that fights space Nazis.
He fights space Nazis.
Deviant the Renegade is perfect for this dog.
You can make this dog in Eclipse phase too.
Ooh. Oh, that's right, Eclipse Phase! That's another one I've been meaning to play. Because, like, okay, I have a character concept for that game too, even though nobody's literally ever started a game. Do you all remember a post on Tumblr about a cat named Miette?
No.
It's
Oh, that's
the Victorian orphan Miette.
It's like, Oh, mother is cruel. Mother is unyielding. Oh, jail for mother. Jail for 1,000 years. That overdramatic
Jail
cat.
for mother. Jail for mother.
Jail for mother. Jail for 1,000 years.
Me
Yes,
when
I
I
remember.
You
did
kick me
now.
at like the football? Yeah, basically it's Miette. It's like
Just
it's a
Miette.
cat girl, but like she acts more like a cat than a girl. Like we're pretty sure this is just a cat in a humanoid body.
Oh, okay. So she's just like the
We're not sure
subtype
if
of
it's
cat
an
girl.
uplifted cat or if it's a person doing a bit.
So it's just like the subtype of cat girl, where it's a stray cat girl
Yeah.
in like a ratty hoodie and leggings.
Yeah, the one that you find in the back alley eating directly out of the trash can.
Yes, exactly.
So, on the note of just wacky character concepts that haven't gotten games yet, there is one from my significant other that is. Her name is Catherine Fluffykins III.
Oh
and
my
she
god.
is
I'm already in
a
love.
cat girl.
I'm already in
She
love.
is a very high class, rich girl, cat girl.
Oh, one of those fancy rich bitch cats! Oh, I love it! Oh, I love it so much.
And that's basically the whole concept of
Oh, I
Catherine
love it.
Fluffykins III.
I love it! Oh, that's amazing.
But also, she's more like, what are the cats in the cat people in D&D? The
Tabaxi?
police
Tabaxi.
Tabaxi. Yeah, she's more like a Tabaxi type cat girl,
Yeah.
but also a lot more cat. And also, again, Catherine Fluffykins III.
The third. Comes from a long
I
line
say
of
one of
very...
these days I gotta play my slapstick comedian in Exalted.
Exalted slapstick What the This is literally my first time hearing about this, by the way.
Yeah, it's a concept that I've been thinking about for not very long, but it's essentially Jackie Chan if he was funnier.
I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know
I've-
if that's possible.
Have you seen Jackie Chan Adventures?
Yes, I have. But like,
But I guess it's more
it's like
focused on
Jackie
the
Chan if
slapstick
he had
than.
this. Huh?
I guess it's more focused on the slapstick than the kung fu.
Yeah, it's like what if Jackie Chan had the same level of timing that Buster Keaton had?
What an interesting concept. Because, like, I've seen a lot of Exalted character concept. I've seen lots of them because I've played in lots of Exalted games because I fucking love Exalted and you can't stop me.
And eventually I need to run Exalted Essence for people. Because it's easy. It's not.
I'm so
It's a
desperate
lot
to play
less
more
work.
Exalted games that I will give it a try.
But don't try to port old characters into Exalted Essence because
Oh
you
yeah,
might
no,
run-
god no, that would never work. That would never fucking work. It would be literally impossible without, like, emotionally neutering them.
Yeah. Some people have tried and it hasn't gone very well because they have to cut out pieces.
Like,
Or
ginormous
some
pieces.
Or some important pieces are just not present in the system.
Yeah. It's one of the... Like, I was rooting for Exalted Essence. I really was. I wanted to be a fan of it. But then we were just looking more at character creation. And it's like, oh, this is missing some very important pieces.
It's mostly missing
Yeah.
important charms that you might want specifically from the base game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a similar problem I had with D&D 4E when it came out, was that there were just like a third of the available character options that the previous edition had available. Like, you know, okay, so like 4th edition, you can't summon skeletons at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can't control undead. You can't do anything like that. So you can't be the
A
necromancer
necromancer.
with an army of skeletons.
Well, that kind of really sucks.
Yep.
But necromancers are the best concept.
Well, that's
Yeah, that's
my
like
That's my first D&D character in every group out the window.
That
So
reminds
actually,
me of another character concept that I have that is a Disney princess necromancer. You know, she sings and birds appear. It's just that those birds are literally just bones. Also, welcome back, Don.
Welcome
Thank
back,
you.
Don.
Oh yeah, Vitreous just reminded me of my the one time he ran an evil campaign for us, and I was playing a necromancer cleric in 3.5, and I did not start with the rest of the party. I was introduced slightly into the first session, and I was introduced when they walked into a building in a ruined town, and let's say there was a body currently being cut open.
Huh. What a way to meet a character.
It was not my
Yep.
body. Let's.
Oh, I
be frank
kind
about
of
that.
figured it wasn't going to be yours.
Well, essentially, what I was doing is I was running one of the, I think it's the Elder Evils book.
Heroes of Horror.
Basically, it was a no. I was running. Okay, you were using Heroes of Horror concepts for your character. I'm talking about the campaign as a whole,
Oh yeah, you're right.
where it was the dead planet Atropos has come to harvest the planet. So, you know, you don't. Yeah, basically the entire world was covered in undead that didn't need anything to control it.
Huh.
Yeah, mechanically, healing and
Yeah.
resurrection was very difficult, and necromancy was much easier in that game. So I'm just like, you know
Mhm.
what? This is time to dust off my necromancer that I've literally never been allowed to play.
You know what? Why am I not surprised?
But you know
Hey,
what?
play
One
evil
person had to
characters.
be a little shit. Not Sakaric,
Of course.
for once.
Oh, really?
Oh. It's exactly who you think it is, Rose.
No,
Your-
it was a different person.
I forget then.
Your twin?
The guy who was playing the ranger.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Who was
well,
the
this
guy
is not
playing
fighting.
the just DM me.
You don't know him.
Oh,
You
I
don't
don't
know
know him. Then why was I told it is exactly
No.
who you think it is?
because I thought
Well,
it was.
because Sakaric thought I was. Yeah. It's not who the Sakaric thought it was.
Oh, okay. And oh no, Crimson Office Lady's been using data, not Wi-Fi. Oh no, rest in piss.
Ooh.
Oh, the data.
Request to Empache.
Your precious
This is your
baby.
reminder chat to make sure you have your Wi-Fi turned on your phones. While
Yeah,
you're
don't be
scrolling
using
through
your data unnecessarily.
Well, I mean, I think it would be a worthy cause to watch the stream.
Always a worthy
Would
cause.
be worth it.
However, if you have Wi-Fi, please do use it. It'll save you
Come
money.
on. Little one.
Which you can then give to me so I can buy gifts for Coffee Bean.
I actually have a money-themed character I'm currently playing right now.
Money-themed character. Explain that.
He's a dwarven cleric. His name is Carcass Goldfist. And he charges the party for healing.
Oh god, what a dick! I love it!
Did you buy
No, but it's not the dickish behavior you think it would be. He actually takes that money and will reinvest in the party.
Oh, that's
Like
nice.
if he notices one party member's equipment is looking run down, he'll invest in them if he feels that it's worth the return.
Okay, so not as bad as he could have been.
No, he's
And
not
despite
money-bagged.
having a charisma of fucking 8, he seems to be the friendliest and frankly the most amicable person. Amicable or amiable?
Amicable? I think that's how you say that word.
Anyways, he
Both are
gets
real
along
words.
with the
Both are
NPCs the
acceptable.
most. And he also has like an obsession with contracts.
Thank you for the thought, my lord.
That's a big red flag there. I'm just gonna say, as a D&D veteran, contracts big red flag.
Contract?
No. He writes the contracts, though. I actually went into Microsoft fucking Word and wrote up a contract to give to 2 incapacitated bandits that would put them in indentured service. Actually, it wouldn't be indentured service since they're getting paid pretty well. But he basically had like job offers on contracts for them.
I mean, indentured servitude can pay. It's just they are forced to have that job. They're just also getting paid.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like they got full medical benefits and everything.
So it's not a bad indentured servitude. It's just still
Fuck, they're better
servitude.
off than me.
Thank you
And-
for the hydrate and the stretch. I'll do that right now.
I was very careful with the wording in the contract. So the bandits and basically anyone else who Carcass stumbles across who really can't afford to say no will serve him, not the party. So if the party ever thinks about, picking on him, his army of NPCs technically answer to him, not the party.
Clever thinking.
God, I would
Thinking
love
ahead.
to be the DM.
Oh yeah, and he just
I
got
would
a
like.
spirit
I would like to
weapon.
be the. I would like to be the DM running that character because the first thing that I would do is send a lawyer cleric after him,
Lawyer cleric.
and
Rose,
just like
you're
that's
gonna-
his primary antagonist for the whole game.
You're gonna love his spiritual weapon.
Just send
Oh,
those
no.
2 lawyers from Order of the
Is it a
Stick
piggy
everywhere
bank?
he
Is it a
goes.
ball that looks like a piggy bank?
No, it is a ethereal bag of coins he wields like a flail.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Like, you know the whole, like, prison weapon where you put, like, a chunk of soap in a sock?
Yeah!
Kinda like that.
Or that
as
one
if-
vine with the lady who's like, every time you yell at your kids, put a quarter in your no yelling sock, and soon you'll have a weapon to beat them with.
That's exactly what it is. But it's ethereal because it's a spiritual weapon.
That is pretty fucking funny, I'm not gonna lie.
All you hear is a loud, like, ching whenever it hits someone.
Just the sound of metal coins, just... I
It
almost
sounds
said
like
shit.
getting a jackpot every time you hit someone.
Oh my god, you're right. First dwarf to invest in Ethereum, god fucking damn it.
Oh my god. If Carcass invests in NFTs in D&D, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
I'm going to shit blood. Oh hey,
Nobody
wouldn't
just
you-
like hires artists to draw them.
I fear no thing. But that thing, it scares me. Fuck, I fucked up the meme.
But that dwarf,
It
scares
scares me. We got a well. I like how you guys were having a normal conversation and I was just fucking going apeshit.
Well, there
fair,
is a
I-
delay. Like, it's just playing now.
Oh, okay.
I muted myself to go and listen to the jam.
We
too.
don't hear your sound alerts, like, at the same time you do.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair because you have to hear them on the stream.
And somehow the game has gotten... The game entirely has gotten, like, even better. Like, we own a crypt, the party. I hired... because we were tracking down 2 potion makers that were, like, hired by this warlock. And the potions they were making were turning people into animals in the city.
Huh.
So he's hired the 2 potion makers and he's given them like, well, they got kidnapped and we just rescued them now. But he's gonna give them like recipes to make like healing potions and stuff. So he's thinking long-term investments.
Investments.
I think of some other memorable character creations that have come up because Unfortunately, I rarely actually play in games. I just run them all.
The forever DM.
Right.
The forever GM.
I just remembered another World of Darkness character I made.
I was actually kicked out of one game I was going to play in because I have a strong personality.
You know, real dick move by that GM. I remember what that happened, and we were all just like, Nani, the fuck?
Oops,
I'm
seductive
sorry,
voice.
seductive voice just got renewed. And we were all like, Nani, the fuck?
Nani sorta. But it's alright, I just have a strong personality, it's probably it.
It's a great personality, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Indeed. I second him on this motion.
I third. The motion
But
passes.
I do remember that character a lot. It's not a wacky character, kind of.
Grab his stick and twist
He was
it!
going to be an Eclipse cast Solar Exalted. And his thing was that he was basically from an island nation that was at war with oceanic bearfolk. I'm tempted to call them the Fuath just to finish the whole reference of being fairy waters, water fairies. But he was the second son to the Admiral General Governor person who ruled that maritime nation. He covered himself up because he was completely hideous, because he is one of the Ysir, which are sorcerers who kind of don't look very good when they're just not sorcerers. Very unfortunate situation for anyone that is not a sorcerer when you're from Ysir.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that you're a slave if you're not a sorcerer. Ysir, but that's a whole different situation. He is not from Ysir, his mother is just Ysir. Completely different situation.
Completely different.
Anyway, he did not fight in combat, but he had a giant golem fight for him in combat. So he just stood back and let the gigantic stone monster punch things out. And now I am just remembering a thing from the first campaign I ever ran, which you were not actually there for, Rosemary, but
Yeah, I believe you.
it was the Western campaign set in Exalted's Western Ocean. It was originally pitched as a treasure hunt, but things changed because DM whimsy and also first time DMing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the tombs they went to kind of pillage was that of one of the players, this Dawncast. And that Dawncast had a thing of just punching every problem because that's literally all their character sheet had. Literally, just stats in punch. And slaw and sword. And bow. You get the idea.
It is
just
what
all
it is.
Dawncast
It
abilities.
is what it is.
You know, because Dawncast didn't work in 2E.
Yes, this was also 2E.
Oh, it was
So that's
2E, yeah.
Yeah, so 2E, it makes a lot more sense of why it was just all Dawncast ability. So their character was literally just punching. One thing they decided to punch was a statue guardian of the tomb. Now, it is initially just a statue.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, they punched the statue.
Oh no. I see where this is
And-
going.
Unfortunately for them, they lost 6 health levels when it punched them once.
Rip and piss.
It was very
for the follow-up.
painful to watch. I felt bad because I didn't fudge the rolls at all. I just watched it happen, and it was like, I could not process it. It was just painful.
It's a me,
And that's the most
definitely not
painful
Metal
thing of-
Mario. Okay, I believe you, not Metal Mario.
And this is coming from a game that also had Coffee Bean's Lunar Exalted Dig gets slashed from
The sex shark! I'm sorry, I love
the
Diarg.
Sex Shark.
We love the
Sex
sex
shark.
shark.
Sex Shark got
Who's lurking
punched
behind your
by-
chair? It's Don Musa!
Yes, that's me. Hey,
He's
Jazz.
behind there because she's very tall.
Yes. Dawn is 7'1", 7'2", I think.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
The sex shark did.
Coffee, coffee.
The what shark? The sex shark.
We should explain Dig, I think. Coffee
That
Bean's not
reminds
here
me of
to
like a
explain.
band's name. I can't remember what it's called.
Alright.
I'm afraid I can't help you there.
Ninja Sex Party?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just
Shark
like
sex
so out of
party.
the blue.
Owner of the Sex Shark Coffee Bean is in chat, but I will explain for them that they made a Lunar Exalted whose thing was just being personality incarnate. Yeah, if you
If you
want to.
want to. We may see a coffee bean here.
Hello. I'm not joining for the full time, but I am joining long enough to give a quick summary of my own character.
Most excellent,
as
my good
I am-
bitch.
I'm a fallible person who doesn't kill me.
But yes, basically take Prince Sidon from Breath of the Wild and make him hornier. And also make him basically invisible. Or not invisible, invincible.
So
I love how
he's
just as you started talking about him, the applause played. Very well timed. Excellent.
So your
Perfectly
character was just the guy from The Shape of Water, but stronger.
And sexier.
And sexier.
And
And
even
faster.
sexier.
I think a good portion of the internet would disagree.
No, it was literally supposed to be just sexier. He's
Appearance
still-
5.
AKA he's literally as hot as he can be.
And I think he had high charisma too.
He by the end of the game, he had maxed out both charisma and appearance and dexterity.
I'm just imagining like King Shark, but trying to seduce everything instead of eat everything.
It's
King Shark, but thinner.
Yeah, it was like King Shark, but more twunk, less hunk.
and this perfect package
King
back to
Shark
pair of
is-
perfect packs. Pow!
Because Nanawe is just broad, but Dig is more lean.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, he was
Which is-
lean. He had a swimmer's build, which is the hottest build.
Oh yes, the hottest bitch in Exalted's creation is a diamond butterfly. Yes,
You
but
know
that's
what? That makes
unrelated.
sense.
But yes,
But,
I will finish the summary. He was an island prince looking for riches and adventure, and he was very sexy about it. And he was also part shark,
And we all loved Diarg.
and we all loved him.
We
Very
all loved him,
popular
especially,
character. Very popular.
especially when he ate a bunch of Lintha pirates.
Yeah, it was a
Jumped out of-
shapeshifter. He had just gotten the ability to turn into a megalodon, so he just turned into one and slid across the deck of their ship.
The thing is that the thing with that is that I'm pretty sure he was a thresher shark as his spirit shape.
Yeah, his default shape was his default animal shape was a thresher shark.
Wait, I'm gonna imitate
But
it.
he-
Everybody look at your screens. Okay, hold up. Yeah.
There she go.
I
There
love
she
being a
go.
VTuber.
Amazing. But Dig could become a big thresher shark.
A really big one.
I gotta decide.
So, in case people don't know what thresher sharks are, they are the sharks that can jump.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Because their tails are really long, they can speed up and then jump because of it.
Their
Terrifying.
tails are so long and frankly dangerous that I actually took the scorpion tail merit on him to simulate it.
Ooh.
Oh
clever.
yeah, they can actually whip the tail around to stun fish.
That's how they hunt. They whip it around and it stuns the fish.
I whip
The
my
only thing
tail
is
back
they're
and forth. I
terrifying.
whip my tail back and forth.
Their,
Yeah, when-
their
when-
faces are so like blunt and short. They kind of look a bit derpy.
Okay, so the funniest thing, because of that, in Exalted, for the record, there was a Lunar Charm in 2nd edition where it was just you make one attack with each limb capable of attacking. So he would swing with a trident, a spear. He would bite you. He would kick you twice, and then he would hit you with his tail.
It was amazing.
That is so fucking cool.
The reason I bring up Dig is
I
because
fade back into
Dig,
the shadow now.
I shall
Stop
now that
making
we
me
have explained
horny!
Dig, I shall explain why I bring him up. Because Dig, so other than that one other time that had me just yikes from how much damage happened, Dig was mentioned as being sort of almost invincible. Except Dig was doing his invincibility through natural soak. And this was 2nd edition. And the Blood Ape monster thing that hit him did aggravated damage, which ignores natural soak. And Dig took a pretty big hit from that, and got a cool scar from it.
Big boy.
But it just... I try to be very forgiving when I throw NPCs at my players, because I like to make it a thing that's fun rather than just hard.
Yeah.
And whenever things hurt more than I expect them to, I am also shocked.
Yeah, I had that exact same experience when I was running Plague Town. And I went from
Sometimes
barely touching people to almost killing them in the course of one singular combat. Oops.
Yeah, sometimes things hit harder than you expect,
I
and
made
you get a bit...
I made the fish a little too hardcore. For all you Dwarf
let's
Fortress
see.
fans.
Zakaric. Matsujiro dies in the first roll of the game.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
Still mad about that. Okay, so one of my L5R characters, his name is Matsujiro, and he's a Lion Clan, and our most recent L5R game, he should have gone down in the first combat. The only reason he didn't is because Vitreous thought it would be
A little
better.
unsportsmanlike.
It'd be a little unsportsmanlike to absolutely give my character with the first dice roll of the game.
The first dice roll in the first combat.
I didn't even make them that strong.
He just rolled like a champ.
They just rolled like a frickin' god.
Yeah, my dice, for whatever reason, really like to kill people. But
Well,
can't
I guess
do
it's
shit if I'm a player.
I guess it's fair, because like there is the whole running gag of I just crit everything, so I die first.
That kind of reminds
It's
me
not
of
just
my
crit.
first
Your
D&D.
dice rolls are fucking way too big. We know he's not cheating. We've checked, but still.
It's just the
Do you
heart of
want
the
to hear what
dice.
happened in my very first D&D combat session?
Ooh, do spill, do
Yes.
spill.
A goblin raiding party attacked our wagon. Our Furbolg monk kicked off a goblin's arm. The goblin was still alive. My dwarven artificer picked up the severed arm, beat the now armless goblin to death with it, and then yeeted the arm with enough force to nearly one-shot another goblin.
Holy shit!
Over 30 feet.
What the fuck?
And this was like pen and paper D&D in person.
You can't fake that.
My very first D&D session.
Yeetus
Deleted.
deletus.
He proceeded to keep the arm as a souvenir.
I almost choked on my ramen.
It's nice just keeping it on as a souvenir.
And
But-
another character of mine became a master firebender at level 5.
Okay.
So an elemental monk, I'm guessing?
Fire Genasi fighter sorcerer hybrid.
Oh
Oh.
no.
Oh no.
His name is Whacky. He grew up as a gladiator, and what happened is they were escaping an angry group of like evil dwarves or gnomes. I'm not sure. They were short people, dark skin, very malicious.
Short people got
Ah, yes, I am just
nobody.
accidentally reminded because of fire and such of another character I played, which was in Wrath and Glory, the Warhammer 40k tabletop game that isn't Dark Heresy. I played a librarian initiate of the Salamanders.
Oh no.
His name was Linnaeus, and he was... I originally pitched him as being an Alpha Legion member who was disguised as Salamander. That went out the window because the DM said no. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I just decided
Everybody
to go
wants to be
full
in the Alpha
Salamander.
Legion.
It's just funny that you can be just imagining an Alpha Legion member trying to be a pyromaniac Salamander.
Salamanders are just a top tier chapter.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
Thoroughly agreed.
Instead, I just played a very friendly Salamander initiate.
Isn't that just a salamander by default?
That's just a
Yes,
salamander.
but also just a salamander, but a librarian initiate.
No, I played a salamander in Deathwatch who was the medic. So I would have multiple opportunities where I would be like, hey, I'm going to use my heavy flamer. Don't, you'll burn me. It's okay. I'll put you back together when I'm done.
The thing is,
Fire cleanses all sins.
the funny thing about my salamander was, though, that I had a few fire spells to use.
Oh no.
And anytime I used a fire spell, the warp shenanigans thing came up because for some reason the dice just said no to me trying to do any fire stuff.
Oh no.
Well, it didn't say no because I still succeeded the roll. But sometimes when you use spells, the warp decides to lash out and do stuff to add to it, even if you succeed. Whenever I used a fire spell, the warp chose the perils rolls ended up with anything that was frozen and cold, as if the warp itself was telling me to chill.
When even the warp is telling you to stop using fire.
It's okay. Napalm is a natural antiseptic.
I mean, it is.
You're not wrong. That's what's amazing.
Listen,
it's
my
not
medic
natural,
brought
though.
I bought a ship-destroying bomb on a run one time, and everybody's like, why the fuck do you have that? Do you even have demolitions? Yes. But you're a medic. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Another Wrath and Glory character I had an idea was a Necron lord, but he was one of the sapient person-like. His character was tied to one of Crimson Office Lady, who was basically his advisor, but technically she was more in charge than him because she was the brains of the two. They were definitely not married, I swear.
Absolutely not. Nope, I believe you 100%.
Yeah, the Lord was still wiping the sleep out of his eyes. Meanwhile, his advisor slash tech creator has been awake all this time, and she has all the knowledge. But they're definitely not married, I swear.
Absolutely not, no. Ignore the wings. Ignore the wedding rings. Those aren't wedding rings. Those are, augments.
Yes, augments.
Gifted from the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lords were named, the two character Necrons were called the Dependra, which is based on an actual real-world pharaoh, because it's 40k, you're gonna do that. And the advisor was named Armanet, which is an Egyptian god instead. Because I'm a nerd who likes referencing things and character names.
God, Pharaoh. I mean, is there really a difference?
Not in Egypt, no.
Exactly.
Setependra means I need to actually look that one up because it's a reference to Ramesses II, just as a side note, because Egyptian pharaohs have a buttload of names.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair,
Uh,
Vitreous, any character is a god if you have a complex.
And we all know Necrons do. Tetrapendra means chosen of Ra.
Does that mean that Jeff Bezos is a god since he has several?
Stop. I will kill you and eat you. Not in a
yes.
sexy way.
Amunet the Advisor was also into the study of squishies.
Squishies? Like the little things you squish for stress relief?
No, squishies as in anything with flesh.
Oh, I
like
had a
It's
completely
more like
different...
the robot calling people meat bags kind of way.
Oh, yeah! That makes sense.
Yeah.
Declaration. You are now known as a squishy.
Squishy is what HK47 just calls anything that doesn't have the durability to last one blaster bolt. Admittedly, blaster bolts hurt.
Why did you play the Pornhub soundtrack? What the fuck?
Because squishies.
I never finished my thing about Pwahi becoming a firebender by accident.
Oh yes, sorry about that.
That's okay.
You know.
But they were trying to get to this one place because they were being chased, and their guide had like run off ahead to look for something. So they show up to like this village on the cliffs that's being attacked by this giant, like this thing's like the size of a C-130, flaming spirit bird that's kind of setting everything on fire. So while my two other party members are like trying to put out the fire, while he like uses his natural like fire ganassi ability to control fire, I got a really good roll.
No.
So I'm holding back like a raging wildfire while the villagers are fighting off this bird. And that's how he became a firebender. Like, this was not a small fire. This is like California was on fire kind of fire.
So the best kind.
Holy shit.
Run! She's a ghost and a bitch!
What the fuck are y'all on in the chat? Y'all are picking the weirdest fucking audio alerts.
She's a ghost. Well, I have the resistant urge to go on so many tangents because I have too much knowledge and talk too much.
I mean, good news is that I'll be doing a lot of these episodes, so you have lots of chances to talk about those tangents in the future.
Yes, especially I also have time to talk about tangents when I start actually streaming.
Yes.
Because no one can tell me what to do on my own stream.
Exactly. Nobody can stop you.
The best part is you do this on my off day, so I'll always be free.
Hell yeah. Thank you for the thought, my lord.
I love the accent you do for that.
I don't know why. I just started. It's like, what do I do to respond to a... No, your dick's small. Fuck you. I just started... It's like, how do I respond to a random fart? Thank you.
Your dick's small.
What is it? Whenever I hear a fart in real life, like if they're a friend, I'll just rate it from like a 1 to 10.
That's what I do with burps. I rate people's burps.
Oh, I do that with burps too.
Yeah, I should start rating farts as well. Because people always get so bashful, so I'm just like, oh no, that was a solid 7.5. Don't worry about it.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Yeah, some burps are real.
And that gets rid of the awkwardness, because they're laughing at my stupidity. It's like, it
You
worked!
gotta get a nice
It worked!
bassy burp. Like, this has to come from the gut.
Mm-hmm.
So, small tangent about Scion, because it's a fun session and I need to vent some of it because
I love talking about Scion.
Making me horny!
No,
One
I
of
will
my
literally
favorite
never
things
stop.
One of my favorite things about Scion 2nd edition, which I don't know if it's been brought up or not, is the fact that there is no masquerade in Scion Second Edition base.
Oh yeah, no. Everybody knows.
The gods. Everyone knows about magic. Everyone knows about the gods fully. But my favorite thing about stuff related to that is that old world religions never went away. There's no neo-pagan revivals or anything. Just people have always worshipped the Olympians or the Celtic gods and the Norse gods. Those religions just always been there. So it results in this world where the entirety of the world has a lot more religion present. And it's just natural religion stuff.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right for Scion.
Alright, one of Crimson Office Lady characters is Ava Rouge of Hovra, who is a French blacksmith scion who is basically either the daughter or reincarnation of an ancient Gaulish god. Because the Gaulish gods...
That is a name. That is a beautiful name.
Ava Rouge of Hovra? Yes.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite names.
How did you learn to pronounce that?
I studied French when I was in high school.
Ah, shit. Fuck. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. The Gaulish French gods, I'm going to call them the French gods, they were wiped out by the Roman gods back in the zeros BC AD.
Yet another reason that I'm mad at the Romans. But continue.
Always be mad at the Romans. Especially Caesar. Always be mad at Caesar.
Yeah, you can't even escape. Every time you try to leave, the road just does a U-turn and leads you right back.
Yeah, all roads have this weird fucking temporal anomaly.
See, you joke about that, but in Scion, that would probably be a legitimate thing.
It probably would be, yeah.
Yeah, all the old Roman roads.
Had ideas.
All the old Roman roads just loop around to the other side.
Rome is the true Colossus of roads.
God fucking damn it, Vit! Boo! Yay, but also boo!
Bad puns on stream are my thing.
So yeah, Ava Rouge just has like her own personal god realm, even though she's just a mini scion. She's not a mini scion, she's just a normal scion, but in Scion, you don't usually get your own god realm until you're a demigod. Or an actual god.
Mm-hmm.
But the French scions of the French pantheon just are allowed to get their own god realms by opening a nematon. And it's just an interesting mechanic for them. It's basically your own sanctum.
I actually had a question about Scion.
Yes?
Oh, yeah,
Because I've never heard of it before, but is Chernobog in there?
Yes,
Absolutely.
he's featured in Demigod, and he is... So, let me get up the Scion Demigod.
Oh, while you do that, I will
manuscript.
stretch and hydrate.
Oh yeah, the whole Slavic
Excuse me?
pantheon
Mommy?
is
Sorry,
fantastic.
Mommy?
Because they
Sorry,
all have like
Mommy?
a duality
Sorry,
thing.
Mommy?
For
Sorry.
their stuff, and it's all fantastically written.
Because I love the
Yeah.
way Chernobog is portrayed in the show American Gods.
Oh yeah, do you know about his being Billabog too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's also featured in Scion's Demigod manuscript, where it brings up that Billabog and Chernobog might be two sides of the same coin because they're called the Bogovi, or Bogovi. I don't know how it's pronounced. Slavic, that's an area I'm rusty with. But they have a whole duality thing, so Chernobog, the black god, might be Billabog, the white god. And they are always at war with each other, but they're also maybe the same person.
So it's kind of like a Sheogorath Jigalag sort of thing.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Mommy? Sorry, Mommy?
That's
See you,
his
Crimson.
work's busy
Mommy?
piece. All right, have a
Sorry.
great rest of
Mommy?
your day,
Sorry.
Crimson Office Lady. Mwah.
Enjoy your day. It's an office lady. So Scion basically has additional books that add in more pantheons and more rules.
currently there is a total of 20 pantheons.
I think so. I'm bad with numbers, but I think so.
Yeah, I'm doing guesses because there's 10 in the base book, there's 5 additional ones in Mysteries of the World, and there's 5 in Demigod.
Oh, you know a monster I'd hate to fight?
Oh, what's that?
The Nuka-Lavi.
Yeah, that's actually featured in one of the books too.
Oh no. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
Scottish.
Awful.
I know the
It's very
Nuka-Lavi.
awful.
The Knucklevi.
Yeah, the Knucklevi is terrifying.
They actually have rules for playing one? What?
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Nunny?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I think it's in
Yeah.
Origins book, maybe?
Bare bone rules, but rules nonetheless. Oh yeah, it's better than no rules at all, but still. Holy fuck.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't imagine
terrifying.
it'd be too different than playing a centaur.
Yeah, it's like a centaur, but you're a fairy.
Fairy centaur.
And you know, you still got the horse head.
Of course.
Without the horse head. All right, there is an additional book that's going to be coming out eventually called Once in Future.
Ooh.
I'm
So,
guessing we're
can
gonna
anyone
get
guess what's
Arthurian. Arthurians.
Yes, but more. It's that, but
Ooh.
more. We're also going to get a Welsh pantheon.
Oh my god. Yes.
Oh no, and I thought the Aztec pantheon was difficult to pronounce.
I know. Our tongues are gonna be. I almost said fucked, and then I realized that would be Monka TOS.
Who's ready to try to pronounce that one Welsh goddess with 3 Y's in her name that are all pronounced differently?
I'm already scared.
What's up?
One is silent. There's no context clues for which one.
Rose, I'm gonna send you something in the no voice thing.
Uh-huh.
Make a character from this town.
Oh no. Oh, I've seen
You know
this.
what?
Oh
You know what, Coffee Bean? You can have one of those as a pet if you come into the voice chat and pronounce it correctly.
So, my brain is failing just trying to pronounce the one Coffee Bean pudding.
Challenge accepted. They are the Coonanoon.
Oh, that's...
It's the one Welsh I can pronounce. I followed a Welsh YouTuber, and he would name his ships off of stuff from Welsh mythology, and so his first major warship in a game was the Coonanoon.
That's
oh
so
my God, they
cute.
don't have a longer town name.
So, 2 of the, there's a few Welsh individuals I know. There is Arawn, there is Pwish, which, looking at Pwish, you would not be able to pronounce it.
Oh yeah, no.
Because because it's PWYLL.
Welsh in general is just hard to pronounce.
Welsh scares the absolute fucking piss out of me.
I love how people rip on English and then...
And then Welsh exists.
My favorite Welsh name is actually a real mountain in Wales. I'm gonna type it in chat.
Oh god.
And it's gonna be great.
I will try to pronounce it, just for the entertainment of everyone.
Just while we're on the topic of hard to pronounce, I'll put one from Irish mythology too.
I kind of figured I'd be wrong.
So there's one place in Ireland that has very hard to pronounce name in original form, which I'm gonna put in the chat for people to try and guess to say.
Oh my God, I just realized the United Kingdom and Ireland are just like a collection of countries that just give a middle figure to language.
Okay, I'm gonna take a crack at the Irish. I want to say it's something like Honk Nariv.
No.
Damn. Oh, Rosemary, mine was Here Widfa.
That was close.
Yeah, you were close.
You missed the invisible H at the beginning.
The invisible H.
If people get on me for
course.
invisible letters one more fucking time, I'm gonna start taking fingers.
So the pronunciation of that word is Noknaria.
The BH is a complete and utter fucking...
I'm just gonna politely disagree.
I don't think you can.
I'm Scottish, and my family comes from Aberdeen, and this is the Gaelic pronunciation / spelling.
That's Aberdeen?
Yeah.
Absolutely. See, Scottish
Absolutely.
makes
That's
perfect
not.
Aberdeen.
Scottish makes perfect sense.
Oh, Scott.
Yo, Scots check! I'm gonna
Hey,
sit down here
Vlad.
crying from your language.
Shout out to Vlad, 5 hours in the future. Hey, if you can DM me tomorrow's lottery numbers, that'd be great.
I'm Australian. I'm like 24 hours in the future.
And
Yeah, but you never DM us the lottery numbers.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
what's up with
selfish of
that?
you.
It's because I don't look for the lottery.
That's a youth problem.
Yeah, if you're not constantly watching American lottery numbers, then that's a
Listen,
huge problem.
listen. Australians already use all of their information of being in the future to give us the flu vaccine.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. I'll take it.
Also, to be fair, with as bad as some Australian internet is, there's probably a full day delay on that anyway, so...
You know what? Yeah.
On the note of my being Australian, because I am not just Australian, I am Aboriginal Australian.
Ooh.
My heritage specifically is from Wiradjuri and Kamilaroi countries, with a hint of some other stuff that I forget the names of. Fortunately, with Aboriginal languages, they are very phonetic in their spelling, usually.
Oh, that's convenient.
So, like, trying to think of an example of one of the... Because I made a whole Scion pantheon of my ancestral spirit. Not gods, specifically. Not gods, because we don't have gods.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of venerate our ancestors and treat them as lessons to follow.
Yeah.
And to honor. They can be godlike, though. Why I made a whole pantheon of them.
Hold up. I will be right back. I must use the facilities. Y'all can keep talking.
Yes. I shall go on my tangent of being Aboriginal and mythological stuff with that. So a fun thing about Australian belief is that Australia is a big place. A lot of people don't know that, I think. Or at least they sort of know it, but they cannot process how big it is.
I don't know. I live in Canada.
Canada
like
is about as big as Australia. So the thing about
Yeah, I
the
was
map
about to say, it's
is that the map lies.
Yep.
Because it's trying to accommodate for the globe part of things, and that causes weird map stuff.
Distortions.
Yeah, distortion.
Like Greenland
islands
being the size of Australia or Africa.
Yeah, even though it's not.
And Australia, I mean, not Australia, Antarctica being about the size of Spain, I think it was.
Was it?
On the Mercadian map, it is.
But yes, if you Google the true size of a country and put in certain country, you can hover a little outline over to other countries to see how big they are comparatively, legitimate. Like, Canada is big, obviously, but it is not as big as the map we usually use tells us.
It's like
Greenland-
the second largest country by landmass, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Russia is still pretty fucking huge.
You know, what with the whole 2 continents thing.
Still big, not as big as we think it is. Australia is bigger than people think it is. Because they hear, oh, it has only like 7 states, it's not that big. Meanwhile, it's about as big as America, give or take. The United States specifically, not
I mean,
all of
Australia has 3.5
above.
time zones, so yeah.
Technically, we have like 5 time zones, but it depends on if it's daylight savings or not, because we can have 4,
I know.
5 on one time, or we can have 3 during the most of the year.
Ooh,
It's a
hello.
whole thing.
Yeah, that reminds me of, I think it was a Tumblr post I saw a few years back. In Europe, you drive for 3 hours and you've crossed 2 national borders. In America, you drive 3 hours and you're just in the next state. In Texas specifically, if you drive 3 hours, you're just in the next town. And in Australia, if you drive 3 hours, you're just 3 hours away from the town you started in.
So, funny thing about that, because I live in rural Australia, technically. Where I live is 1 city away from my grandmother. That place is 4 hours away.
Holy
drive.
shit! Sheesh!
Oh yeah, the state I'm in right now, it's an 11.5-hour drive from my house, and we take that trip exactly twice a year to see my grandmother.
Yeah.
The province I live in, I can drive for a full day, and I'll still be in the same province.
Yeah.
It's actually a 3-day drive to get to a different state from where I live.
Wait, Australia has states?
Yeah.
Oh.
And territories.
Neat.
We have... The states are Tasmania, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, and the Western Australia. We have 2 territories, the Northern Territory and the Australian Capital Territory. The Australian Capital Territory is tiny. It is mostly just there to, like, not have one of the states be the capital. It's like Washington, DC, or the state.
Kind of like how Vatican City is its own country.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first learned about that, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, they have their own military too, I think.
Yeah, the Swiss Guard.
Yep.
They recruit exclusively from male Swiss who are between 5'9" and 6'2".
Yeah, and like the requirements to be a Swiss Guard are like surprisingly like strict.
Oh yeah, they
Huh.
go through like Black Ops training regimens.
That is... Imagine
what the
making a
heck?
character based off one of those, though.
Oh great, now you just inspired me.
Yes.
But I
Excellent.
got distracted with my whole tangent about Australia being big, that I didn't get into how Australia has a lot of different countries. Every country in Australia, Aboriginal country in Australia, basically is roughly the size of like, trying to guess here, like, a small European nation. And they all fit into Australia.
There's a lot of small European nations.
Yeah.
Probably more along the lines of about Belgium, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking like, Slovenia, Belgium. Ukraine is actually really big, isn't it?
Yeah?
Of course, big is relative because America is big. But America is more like a bunch of different countries saying they're one country.
That's
You know
exactly
what?
going
That's
on.
absolutely correct. That's what it
50
feels like
countries in a trench coat.
sometimes.
Yeah, we literally have to have a whole separate level of government just for the states to have their own diplomacy with each other. We're basically the UN, but much less functional. Or not the UN, the EU, but much less functional.
You know, that also, it's just you go into a different state and each state has an entirely different like cultural feel from each other. Like even states that are just like one state over will have like their own fucking slang and memes and just things you do and don't do, and what could be polite in one state is considered an insult in another. Just like going to a different
Listen.
country.
Oh yeah,
Listen.
I'm
You could
Go
go
ahead.
from one county into another, and it will be illegal to drink alcohol in that new county.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm following this guy on TikTok. He's some random I think he's like at Lovecraft Mayor or something like that. Fantastic. Basically, he tells the truth about Ohio in that it is a Lovecraftian nightmare that the Raven Queen will never return to.
Oh, that reminds me of how the Russian Badger, on one of his videos, he said that Ohio is just a rural, urban bar fight.
Yeah, it's a rural urban bar fight in a cornfield.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, and there's I think 5 major cities in well, I say major, but they're really tiny cities, and none of them have any culture at all.
Probably has culture, because culture is a weird thing that I could go on a whole other tangent about.
Culture is a weird thing. Like I have words.
In the city that we live in, there was one good club, and it closed down a couple of years ago, and now there's literally nothing to do in that town.
I have entire tangents about stuff like culture and the English language itself, because the English language is not one language. Even ignoring the joke that it's like 5 different languages.
Yeah, no,
Is that a trench coat?
yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. I say this as somebody who has studied the English language extensively. It really fucking is.
Even ignoring that joke of it like being 5 different languages in a trench coat. There is many different dialects of English that are so vastly different that someone speaking Australian English might have difficulty speaking Jamaican.
That's
Admittedly,
like French and Canadian French.
yes. But the French have a whole other thing about hating French.
Yeah.
And then you try to throw New Orleans French in there,
And
nobody...
oh boy!
Yeah, like I drove 11 hours to get to where I am right now, and we have 3 different... In that distance, there are 3 different ways to refer to carbonated soft drinks. There's pop, soda, and Coke. Coke is a catch-all term for everything. You go into a restaurant and they ask you what you want to drink, and you say Coke, and they say what kind, and then you say Mountain Dew.
And if you really want to mess with someone, you say soda pop.
Oh, yeah, no, we nobody's said that since the 1950s in New England.
Exactly, that's why it throws people off.
Meanwhile, in Australia, we just condense a lot of things down into one word. Like, we call chips chips and fries chips.
Mm-hmm.
We also call trying to remember because remembering things on the fly is difficult.
Right?
It usually comes to me.
Well, I mean, there is a word that I've seen a lot of Australian TikTokers use that they just use to refer to everybody that they interact with. But I don't know if I can say that on Twitch.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say redacted, because redacted is very, very, very
gets
mean
the points
word.
across.
But it's not used by everyone, but it is used by friends, between friends, and also someone you're trying to be friends with.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the C word?
Yes, it is the C word.
Absolutely.
We are not saying it because Twitch. We don't want
Let's-
Twitch going
Wait.
after us.
For chat's benefit, that C is not for cookie.
Wait, hold up, because I've been...
Oh, do you think it's a different word, Rosemary?
Yeah, you can say
let's
cunt
just
on
say-
here.
We can say cunt.
Yeah, you can, especially me, because I have this stream marked as for mature audiences.
Well,
Okay, so we
some,
can go back to
some
saying
curses
cunt.
and insults, Twitch doesn't like even then. So
Oh
we didn't
yeah,
wanna
no,
get
there
you in
are
trouble.
there are insults. Like I still hesitate to say the S word, just because I don't know if they'll take context into account,
I don't know.
even in a positive way.
I don't know if cunt counts as an insult though for Australians. It's just like saying
It's
hey buddy.
complicated.
It's like saying
It
hey
is-
bud.
It's
is very
complicated.
It's all about cunt. So it's like, nah, yeah, and yeah, nah, and nah, yeah, nah.
Yeah. Okay, so nah yeah means yeah, and yeah nah means no. And then yeah
And-
nah yeah means probably yes.
And nah, yeah, nah means probably no, but maybe.
And then it's like means I will not do this.
I think there's a whole song about it. Yeah, nah, yeah, nah.
Yeah, the more times you switch back and forth between yeah, nah, and nah, yeah, is the more sure you are that you're whether or not you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Nah. Maybe.
No.
And if you say maybe, that's just a definite no.
Oh yeah means maybe, no means maybe, and maybe means absolutely not. You trash, get the hell out of here.
No, that's I'll think about it.
Maybe I'll think about it.
I'll
But
think
probably
about
not.
it. I'll think about it means I've already forgotten what you're talking about.
Call me out like this. The memory of a goldfish here.
I hear
I-
Coffee
I-
Bean
goldfish.
laughing in the other room.
My memory is absolute dog shit. Like, my Rosemary said earlier that I have a twin, and this is the truth. And I planned his surprise birthday party one year, and forgot it was my birthday.
I love that story so
It was
fucking much.
It was a god awful party because I was like 12 and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I did it, and I forgot my own birthday. Stunned silence from the stands.
I'm sorry. I'm giggling like an idiot over here.
I am actually laughing, but trying to keep my voice down, so it might not be coming through the mic.
Yeah. That do be happening.
Because...
Yeah. I frequently make jokes about how I forgot what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I can remember that ancient Egyptian makeup is made with a black stone called coal and malachite, both of which are toxic, which cause paleness in the skin and death, or early death, because I read a Wikipedia article about Egyptian makeup 15 years ago.
That reminds me of
Bitch, what the
one
fuck?
story. If we're on the topic of the Egypt stuff, I can barely remember my own birthday. I can barely remember my mother's birthday, even though it's one day after mine. But I can somehow remember the fact that during one fight against Set, Horus painted some cabbage and fed it to Set. I am saying tainted because somehow I did not trust that Twitch would trust the other word.
Piston? I don't know the myth. I'm gonna stop trying to guess now.
Did not try.
Oh!
Yes,
Yeah, Coom generally works.
Coom works.
Yeah, like even Yanners gets away with saying Coom, so...
Yeah,
Cool.
that reminds me of my second favorite Egyptian deity, vaguely. It's Hathor. She's the goddess of fertility, music, and celebrations. She's literally the goddess of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yes, I did steal that from Facebook yesterday.
As
It's
you
okay.
should.
Most jokes are just repeated anyway.
Wait, we've gotten wildly off topic. We haven't talked about tabletop gaming in like 10 fucking minutes.
Well, you know, it's just your standard session of D&D at that point.
You know what?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Chat. When I run games for our IRL group, I have an app on my phone that sounds like that little bell on the hotel counter that I have to ring because everyone, including myself, will go wildly off topic.
Oh, you know, trying to run a game of D&D with like when everybody in the room has some form of ADHD/neurodivergence is a pain in the ass. I love my friends, but collectively we are a pain in the ass, and I fully admit this.
I plan for
So-
3 hours of gameplay and expect it to take 6.
Yeah.
So one tiny detail is that whenever I talk about myth, in the back of my head, I am also talking about Scion.
Yeah, Rose. The group here is just that dancing bears gif where like the bears are really low polygons. And they're just
Oh
flailing.
yeah! I love the dancing bears gif!
And there's like "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These" in the background. Yeah, that's our group.
I love how when I bop my head a lot, the bread that represents Vitreous just goes apeshit. Like it's trying vaguely to keep a hold on my head.
It also vaguely turns when you do.
I have no idea
That
what
is
you're talking
amazing,
about.
Brad.
God damn it, hold still.
Now!
But
I can barely
Yeah,
hold
but
on.
if I might go on another Scion tangent,
Yes.
there is one additional splat that I forgot to bring up. That is Scion Masks of Mythos. What is Masks of Mythos? Basically, Scion, but you're doing stuff in the Cthulhu mythos.
Got it.
And also, it actually has a whole preface at the start about how a lot of cosmic horror is intangible, interconnected with Lovecraft, and how they'll about who he was and such, and trying to separate him from the cosmic horror genre
Yeah.
a bit, even though it's using stuff from his writing and such.
Yeah. Yep.
My favorite thing about Masters of Mythos is the pantheon-specific purview, because all the gods. So everyone in Scion has their own areas of divinity that represents their purviews and such. And the game mechanically represents this with certain groups of purview. So like beast, art, beauty. But all the pantheons have their own unique, specific purview to represent their kind of legendary abilities and such.
Yeah.
And their cosmologies. The Mythos one is arcane calculus. Literally just magic math. Or just math, really. Because what is
in the universe?
Because what is more cosmically horrifying than calculus?
Just gonna make a Scion who's a mathematics major who dug too deep.
As a person who took Calc 1 3 times, I absolutely agree. It is
The
the
mathemat-
devil.
So
Oh,
the
sorry, I had to
mathematics-
teach myself trigonometry.
Oh, you poor motherfucker. I'm so sorry.
They gave us a math. I'm a millwright. And for our math class, they gave us a math professor that had never stepped foot in a shop before. He was a math major. And the math that we normally do is like high school applied math. We're used to like reading tape measures and shit.
Yeah.
But on the coffee beans note of a Scion who's just a mathematics major who dug too deep, that is a very valid character concept in Master of Mythos. I think that is actually one of the ready-made characters that you can just use.
I'm just gonna make a Masks of Mythos character who's like just an actor who performed the King in Yellow.
And also do that.
How is he alive?
Oh, raid boss time.
Oh, hello, Vesper and Raiders! Hello, hello, hello! For those of you who don't know me, hello, I am Rosemary Darling. I am a unicorn author MILF. We shitpost, we talk about tabletop games, we talk about regular games. We talk about all kinds of stuff here. Rose,
That
what the
is
heck
Bread
is
Bunny.
what the heck is on your head? It's my mod, Vitreous Persona. He is being represented by bread because he
Hello.
doesn't have a Fugi. So he's the bread.
We were just talking about stuff, Scion stuff.
Yes, we're talking about all kinds of tabletop games at the moment. Because originally we were talking about crazy character creation ideas, and then we got wildly off topic, as is what tends to happen on this show. But you know what? Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
proud of it.
Yeah, we were trying to pronounce
We're not ashamed.
Gaelic names at one point, so yeah.
And Welsh! Don't forget the Welsh!
And Welsh, so we've absolutely stayed on topic the entire 3 hours.
Oh, yes, no, absolutely. We've totally stayed on topic the entire... I can't lie anymore. I can't lie.
We were just talking about how calculus was magic and definitely causes insanity in people.
Which is ironically us getting back on topic. Don't you Titanic flute at me. We're getting back on topic. It's Carrick, you traitor. Traitor. You betray me.
I mean, it's free for subscribers, so I think
I
I'll
will...
just leave it.
But the Master of Mythos, since we're back on track, sort of, even though we just got raided, so we're a bit...
Oh, no, you're fine,
still
Cabal.
processing that.
It happens.
The Master of Mythos. Maybe I should recap what Scion and that is for our view.
Oh, yes, please recap what Scion is for the new viewers.
So, Scion is a tabletop game about playing heroic, divinely endowed heroes in the modern era. It does this thing where there is no masquerade like in any World of Darkness games or like in Percy Jackson where they have the mists or what it's called.
Everybody knows about everything.
Everyone knows magic is real. Everyone knows gods are real. Everyone can interact with their gods physically, not just spiritually.
Like, you could physically call up your god and go, hey, what up?
So I'll probably get back to the Aguilar in a bit. But
I love the Aguilar. It's fantastic.
The Aguilar is great. Also, old world religions never went away. They're just a thing that exists in the world of Scion.
Mm-hmm.
Mask of Mythos is an extension onto that, which adds in the Cthulhu Mythos nonsense.
For those of you who are like me and are craving some Call of Cthulhu action, but don't want to go through just any old game because there's a lot of inherently problematic shit that some people love to bring to the forefront, but I'm trying to avoid because I'm a Twitch streamer and I can't afford that. And also just because I don't want to deal with it in general.
Some of the fun stuff. Master of Mythos is just you can be the hero of the King in Yellow, the champion of the King in Yellow. He specifically likes those who are artistic, morbid, or possess a flair of grim and ironic justice.
Oh.
Also artists,
Fuck,
just in
that's
general.
me. Fuck.
This is also a favorite of the Lord of the Great Abyss, who is sort of Noddins, but Master Mythos does its own thing where it's a parasitic interdimensional construct who mimics gods and feeds on the worship of those who have specific needs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cosmic horror nonsense. Also, Lilith is there somehow.
Somehow. We don't question it. We don't question it at all.
It just works.
It just works.
Actually, the Lilith's segment in the Marks of Mythos specifically says the Lilith in Lovecraft story is not the one from Jewish folklore, but the writer's own version, so they're not the same at all.
Yeah, no.
Two people named Lilith, probably because Lilith's just
It's a cool
etymologically
name!
It is a cool name,
It's
and also it kind of just means owl demon.
Yeah.
Comes from Mesopotamian, Babylonian, Akkadian languages.
Ah, Babylonia. Good chapter in Fate Grand Order.
One of the best ones. Have you seen the anime?
I have not yet, but I have been meaning to. I would love to. I could do a watch party on Discord.
Wait, what about Discord?
I said I could do a watch party on Discord, because I'm not stupid enough to try that shit on Twitch. Unlike a bunch of partners who I will not
No, you just gotta make sure it's Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, but then the VOD will get DMCA'd on YouTube.
Well, all you have to do is hack into a partner's account, steal their credentials, and then you can't get in trouble for anything.
I have a few concerns. Just a few.
Is it because one of them is identity theft?
Yes, one of those
Twitch,
concerns is identity theft.
Judging by your reactions, that was a joke.
Yes, Twitch, for legal reasons, that's a joke. I love that song. Covers my ass all the time. Just like
Song
to
there,
throw that out there just to make sure.
Just a lovely song of legally, this is a joke. For the sake of humor and entertainment.
A joke that keeps my account from getting banned. And also, I don't seriously intend on identity theft, Chef. I will smack your titties. I said chef.
Rosemary is a unicorn, not a changeling.
Yes, exactly. I am not one of the fair folk. Identity theft is not in my nature.
I mean,
no stealing names.
Thinking about it, a unicorn changeling does sound fun.
Oh, you're right. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, apropos of nothing. I
Oh
never
god
asked.
damn it! Glad somebody FBI. If
Dawn, I never got your pronouns. Can I have them, please?
I am a dude. He, him.
Ah, thanks. Those are my pronouns now.
God damn it!
You just took my pronouns.
Yep.
Now your pronouns are...
Very nonsense. Always a good joke.
I love jokes about fair folk, which is probably why I love playing Changeling so much.
Yep, I now have 3 copies of the he/him pronouns.
You are the dude.
My pronouns are he, but I'll never be him.
Ouch.
I love that joke.
My favorite meme is still, I am a purple dinosaur. But no, you're not!
Oh yeah, telling blatant lies in front of a fair folk and watching them squirm.
I am 7 foot tall and made of purple dinosaur material.
But you're not!
I am a 50-foot pink and purple platypus bear with wings.
I'm a one-eyed, one purple people eater.
One-eyed, one purple people eater, one-eyed,
I just like openly fiddle with an iron ring.
I am emotionally stable and happy every day.
Aww. Depression jokes.
Self-deprecation, always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love depression jokes. They kill all the time.
Bo.
See, my favorite thing about depression jokes is that they're just a blast.
My preferred jokes are self-defenestration jokes.
Oh yeah, throwing yourself out a window.
Yeah.
I love how we
I
have a
make a
word
joke
for
about-
that.
I mean, yeah,
love
just throw them out there.
Throw them out there.
Just throw them out there. Oh my god, I have way too many random ass fucking brushes on my CSP! And anyway, I go. Alright, have a good evening, Vlad.
I just remembered in 40k, there's a species of like sentient orangutans that can make technology that like deeply confuses and impresses tech priests.
So, for the record, they are not orangutan. They just look like orangutan. They are aliens that look like orangutan.
I just call it like I see it.
And I thought I knew something about 40k lore before this conversation started. Now I'm even more lost than I was before!
Yours, you want to make them even better? They just do this randomly. They'll just like show up. They'll like grab a guardsman's las gun, like upgrade it into like a planet-destroying weapon, and just peace out.
So
It
the
is
name
notoriously difficult to keep one in a single place.
Yeah,
The Jakara are dumb as shit about everything else, if memory serves. Oh,
Yes,
so kind
they
of
do
like
not-
most technology majors I know.
Yes, they do not.
I said most.
They cannot speak. They don't really know how to communicate. They just know how to make technology. Weapon
Technology! Oh my god.
specifically.
Imagine playing as one in a game, though.
Yeah,
There's an
the
Inquisitor
40K.
that actually has one in his retinue.
Please tell me
40k
it's not
lore is
Draco.
wild.
40k lore is fucking wild. I played
Like
as a very, very dumb Sister of Battle in a game once. Basically, it was a Sister of Battle who had taken one too many hits to the head in the name of the Emperor.
So I was about to say, please don't tell me Jacques Draco is the one who has a Jakaro. Looking it up, Jacques Draco has at least met a Jakaro.
If I ever play a 40k tabletop game, I want to play as an Ogren.
Oh yeah, that's
Ogren
what
are
Coffee
fun.
Bean has played as one of those. And
Only
his
War
was
has
also
rules for that.
stupid as shit. We were both stupid as shit. It was great.
Rose, remind me, I gotta send you some Ogren videos done by this guy who does like voiceovers. And it's like this weird friendship between a commissar and his Ogren.
Oh yeah, sure. Also, Coffee Bean says, permission to come into VC to share a dumb pun from my favorite 40k character I've ever played? Of course, sweetie. Here comes the boy.
Hello. So,
Hello.
yeah, I was playing Ogren. Specifically, he was, basically a riot cop. He was part of the Arbites. Whenever you'd ask him about it, he's like, yeah, I'm part of the Arbites. Aren't you pronouncing that wrong? No, see, Arbites people up.
I love that pun. It's so funny.
Boo.
You've made worse puns, Zakaric. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Well, no, the boo is how you know it's good.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
true.
that's true. I have done the same thing myself. Oh, thank you for the stretch redeem.
Yes, he and Iridia were about as smart as each other. Donk was a particularly clever Ogren. That doesn't bode well for Iridia.
Was he a bonehead?
I don't
Absolutely.
think he actually had bonehead. He was smart, but he wasn't like cybernetically enhanced smart. He could count to 5, not 10.
Okay, so he's already above the margin.
Oh yeah, no, it's like he's smart for an Ogren.
He is smarter
Smart-
than your average bear.
Smart for an ogren doesn't mean much, but it means smarter than an ogren.
Exactly.
He's like those bears that make it impossible to make bear-proof trash cans.
Yeah!
Smarter.
Oh, you mean like those Russian bears that are getting high off of jet fuel?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's the park ranger problem of like there's a lot of overlap between the smartest bear and the dumbest
tourist, yeah.
And
So-
those bears are now like following behind helicopters, hoping they'll have a fuel leak.
Oh,
I'm scared for Russian bears. Note to self, don't go to Russia. Ever.
The park rangers
I need
are
to
having the
do-
problem of they can either completely cut them off and have to deal with bears in withdrawal, or letting them keep getting high, because they'll huff jet fuel until they knock themselves out.
To be fair, on the note of animals being smart, I genuinely think sheepdogs are smarter than me. They probably are.
Sheepdogs?
Sheepdogs. Don't you know what a sheepdog is?
Oh, sheepdog! I thought you said sheepdog, and I'm like, what defines a cheap dog?
Well, a sheepdog is one you get for free because people don't have the space in their house to have many dogs living there.
Yeah, it's like an up dog.
I'm not falling for that.
But also, my accent causes some words and sounds to get mixed together.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
I
that's called
apologize.
having any accent. All that changes is which sounds get mixed together.
Yeah,
Yes,
know
for
what?
me,
That's
it's-
true.
For me, it is mostly my sh sounds, and my T sound. Which
Also, I gotta
sound
make
like-
I gotta make one linguistic statement real quick.
What's
Whoever
that?
you are, wherever you are, you have an accent. There's such a thing as an American accent too, and that doesn't mean you're pronouncing things wrong. That means you're pronouncing things with an accent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate that.
I'd
I
say
hate
there's
that
more
so
like
much.
100 American accents.
Well, yeah, but you get my picture. It's just like, listen, there's a point where you gotta go, you wouldn't give someone shit about mispronouncing a word in a different language if that different language was English. So why are you giving them shit about mispronouncing a word in a different language if that language is Chinese?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a sticking point with me where I'm like, you gotta accept that an accent is an accent.
Yeah,
makes
me
me
and
think,
Coffee
what
Bean
does
have
English sound like
both
without an
had
accent?
encounters.
There is not only accents, but also various dialects.
Yeah.
I am Australian. I am also black. I'm a black Australian. This causes certain issues in language.
Yeah.
Issues. You would not believe the kind of shit I get for my accent in Australia.
Yeah, I can believe it.
In Australia. But alright, sheepdog. Sheepdogs are really smart, probably smarter than me. Especially collies.
I love collie dogs. They're so cute. Ooh, that should be my next dog character after Perry. After I make Perry in something, I need to make a sheepdog. Because Perry, I never mentioned his breed earlier. This is the best part. I'm gonna get a picture of his breed up before I reveal what he is.
I used to own a bloodhound.
Oh, this is a really... Oh, no, this is an even dumber picture. Oh, yes, this is a good one. This is a good one. Okay. Because...
Is this a corgi?
Because Perry... is a Pekingese!
Oh, no.
Who punches Nazis.
Wait, are you showing it on
Uh-huh.
stream?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yes.
still waiting for it to catch up.
Yeah,
Love
lovely.
this fluffy boy.
Love one fluffy dumb boy.
Oh my god. I decided to Google it because the stream's a bit slow. But... Oh, there it goes. Oh my god. It's the
Your
exact
next
same
dog
image I was
character
looking.
should be Brumhilda, the border collie.
No, not a border collie, just a normal collie.
Oh my god.
It looks like a loaf of bread.
It looks like a tissue box with a face.
It looks like a
I'm
mop
pretty
with
sure
a
my
face.
grandparents had a tissue box that looked exactly like that.
They probably did!
So, border collies was mentioned, but I want to make a note
Googling this.
that not only are there border collies, there are just normal collies. And normal collies look like they know they are better than you. And honestly, they kind of are.
They're very beautiful. They're so pretty. Such pretty dogs.
My uncle used to have one, and she was a very smart dog. And also better than me.
Aww. Don't make me tap the sign.
Not because I'm bad, just because she was that good.
What a good dog.
She could do it. I actually had a dog that saved some of my family members from a fire.
Oh my god!
As dogs do.
Holy shit.
As dogs
As
do.
dogs are prone to doing.
But he was also a cattle dog, as I've mentioned. Cattle dogs, sheep dogs. Smart.
Very smart.
Very smart.
Unfortunately, my current dog has minus brain cells.
Your current dog has poop brain.
Oh, my last dog was exceptionally stupid. I used to say he's dumb as a bag of rocks, and that was being generous.
Yeah, I've had dogs like that.
He
My
liked to
current
do
dog-
nose painting with his own poop.
You've got one of those. Your parents have one of those right now, Rosemary.
Yeah, the Labrador. He is very sweet, but he is also very, very incredibly stupid.
The lights
empty
are on.
sometimes.
The lights are on, but they're flickering slightly.
My
I'd tap
dog,
the bulb every once in a while.
my dog eats cat poop. We have a cat too.
I think that's actually just a
That's
dog
most
thing.
dogs.
That's most dogs. My parents have a very smart dog named George. It's a very generic name, so I don't feel
The
too
thing
bad
is
about
that-
revealing that. But even he has eaten cat poop.
But the thing is that we have litter crystals for our cat.
No.
So he gets some of the crystals in his throat too.
Oh, no.
And then he throws them up later.
Oh no.
Fortunately, they're not too bad as to cause problems in him because they're tiny things.
But
The main
still.
issue is it makes him sick.
Yeah.
Like earlier this morning when he threw up on the floor when I was putting him out. He was having a whole issue. Also, honestly, him eating rats isn't a dumb dog thing. He's just a dog hunting thing.
Yeah.
So I like to say that Buster is he's not an idiot. He's just a dumbass.
Yeah.
He's not overly burdened.
I have a similar
He's a-
story with Bates. He was really good at hunting rats. The only
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is,
5
he'd
minutes
only eat
warning.
half the rat.
Thank you. Oh no.
So occasionally I'd find half a rat in the basement.
Oh no!
no.
It was usually the front half of the rat.
Oh no.
Oh, so he'd eat the butt.
Well, the
But-
back half's the.
He was quite
Soon
literally eating
rat
the booty like
ass.
groceries.
Thank you, Coffee Bean.
If we're talking
Wait, no,
about
hold up. I've got a way to make it worse.
Finally something to kill Coffee's gutter runners.
We still got to get that fucking league going.
Oh my fucking
So
god.
since we're on the topic of animals, does anyone have any anecdotes about character creation with pet characters that have pets with them?
I have one.
Okay.
Okay, so I have made only a couple characters with pets, but the most memorable one was I made a shape-shifting druid. She was like level 10 or 15 or something. And she had a dire badger as an animal companion. And one night,
Dire badger.
a dire badger. So we personally imagined it was like a badger, but just bigger. So like
How
about
much
as
bigger?
big as like a medium-sized dog.
Yeah, that tracks.
Very chonky.
Yeah, track.
And so Vit was actually here for this. In the middle of the night, we were getting ambushed and a different character was up. And he was the only one up. The rest of us were asleep. And he's like, oh fuck, how do I alert the others without that we're about to be ambushed? So he kicks the badger! And the badger makes god-awful, angry badger noises. Which,
So how quickly did he die after doing that?
oh no, he didn't actually die. Hold up, let me get some angry
Wow.
badger noises. Because
So he kicked the badger, but he didn't die from the badger.
Like, you can't do that and live with a regular badger, much less a dire badger.
Hold up, I found an angry
Keep in mind, druid animal companions have an intelligence of 6. And at the
Oh,
level
wow.
that Rose is saying that he was at, it had to have had an intelligence of at least 9.
So that badger is actually smarter than my current D&D character.
Yes.
That's one smart badger.
Well, badgers are already like really smart.
They're just also really fucking angry, which big mood.
Honey badger don't give
Honestly,
a fuck.
same.
I actually prefer the European badger to the North American badger because it's exactly as mean and evil as the North American badger, but it's soft and friendly.
Aww.
If dangerous, why cute?
Now we all know it's the kind of animal you pet and then you pull back a stump.
See, if dangerous, why cute is how I feel about bears.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone who tells me,
killing machines with the most adorable ears.
yeah, if they're so deadly, why do they have perfectly circular ears?
Right? They have such perfectly circular,
Why do they?
cute little ears.
I like African honey badgers because they are just if
They just don't give a fuck.
no. They're like if skunks had stand your ground laws.
Skunk!
If bears
Yeah, they're
are
so
dangerous,
mean.
I was not prepared for that one.
Yeah, African honey badgers are so dangerous that baby cheetahs, are colored like honey badgers, so that animals won't fuck with them.
So, if bears are so dangerous, why do they have perfectly circular ears, and why do they have the face of a dog?
Why do they have those cool little fuzzy
common
kissable
ancestry?
faces?
They're actually more related to bloody. What's the thing?
Well, everything has common ancestry if you go back far enough.
Yeah,
See,
but they're closer
yeah.
related to raccoons than dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
If a panther is so dangerous, why does he have such big mittens?
big
The
old
killer
paws.
Have you ever heard a cheetah meow?
Yes! It is surprisingly domestic.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
did I ever
bears-
tell you that captive cheetahs have anxiety so bad that local shelters will rent out like rescue dogs to give them companions to help with their
Yes.
anxiety?
Yeah, they have emotional support dogs.
They have
Yeah.
emotional support
Same.
dogs! I need to focus. Anyway, I hate to cut this short, but it is unfortunately time for me to call this stream to a close. So, everybody,
It's been
if you want to
fun.
say some parting words, promote anything you're doing, etc., go ahead and do that now.
Oh, I would like to go first.
Yes.
Unclench your jaw.
You always fucking
God.
do this.
I've got two.
Yeah.
The first one is you can feel your tongue in your mouth. I am currently working on an application for potential DMs
Oh, this
to fill out to run a game. So look for that in the future. Also, to the mods that I messaged to collaborate on that, especially Rosemary, please drop your email to me so I can add you to the application.
Watch it that.
I forgot.
Oh, right, hold on.
I will go do that right now before I forget.
Would make some kind of announcement, but all I've got to say is, I don't have any can really announce future streaming stuff, so please look forward to whenever that is.
Yay!
If it happens.
I mean,
Glad-
I'm looking forward to your shit.
I know a lot of people are. It boggles my mind.
I'm going to collab with you a metric shitload when that happens. I hope you know that.
I will
Don't
keep it in
know
mind.
my Google account email.
But yes, please look forward. Which is something you can just say about any announcement. Please look forward to things you are happy looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. And I will just say, check out my SoundCloud. No.
You don't have a sound.
Check out my mixtape.
As usual, whenever I'm on here, I'm going to plug that I'm still working on trying to put together a fucking Blood Bowl league. We will see where that goes. I'm going to lure as many people into that as I can, though.
Like a witch in the woods with a candy house.
Hansel and Gretel style.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, the 14th, Valentine's Day, I am going to be making Don Musa a Tinder profile, and we are going to stream and try to find him a match on Tinder.
Aww.
It's kind of like a joke thing, but I kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, feel free to check me out.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about that.
Oh?
I'm concerned because it isn't Twitch or isn't you said
Tinder?
the Tinder account?
Yes.
Doesn't that need your location posted?
I have no fear of doxing myself. Anyone who knows me in
Okay.
real life is probably not going to try any shit.
Okay, that's fair.
All right,
Just making sure.
just be safe.
I'm
with
very
that.
I'm very cognizant of all of that stuff. So.
All right, that concludes the stream. Everybody, have a great rest of your evening. Grab a drink of water, grab a snack, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Cheers.
And the